The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go!
This show sticks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
Ah! The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Stop! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Sport! Hello, beautiful people. And welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this magical Overreaction Monday, June 17th, 2024, this program starts right now. Sports are wonderful, and we're lucky to talk about them every single day. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do it and following along and listening and watching wherever the hell you may be, whether it's on ESPN, YouTube, ESPN Plus, or TikTok Live, which is still happening until they potentially shut it down or somebody needs to buy that thing ASAP. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. Hope you got a chance to celebrate the dads in your life. I hope you had the opportunity to watch the sports that took place because we are in the middle of a magical time. I'm not alone, no. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. I see you went back to the dog shirt because the Boston Celtics last week before Game 4 won that they would go on to lose by 38 points, which would be a top 4 worst blowout in finals history and a biggest blowout in Celtics final history on a must-win for the Mavericks. The Boston Celtics were barking during the jog-through or the walk-through in the day of the game. You went back to the dogs? I think we need to get rid of the dogs. They should have been meowing today to potentially get the sway back on their side as they could potentially end this thing and hang an 18th banner in Boston this evening.
Yeah, I think the dogs more so in that sense on Friday was an underdog, reference. I think today it's more so like, hey, we got to be dogs. We have to go back to what we were those first 3 games where obviously Game 3, Game 4, actual underdogs. But we need to just kind of get that dog mentality, if you will, to quote, the great coach Nick Sirianni. Bring that back, and then let's see what happens.
Well, we have Austin Rivers joining us in about 33 minutes. I cannot wait to hear what he has to say. Obviously, his brain is filled with magical things. I guess J.J. Redick is going to be the Lakers head coach, seemingly. That's how everybody's talking. As soon as these finals are over, that's going to take place. But what else is the storyline? Oh, is it Luka and Kyrie going into Boston, making this thing 3-2? 3-3? Then there's a Game 7 potentially, and then you think about the NHL, one half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, Tone Diggs. I don't know what the odds were for the Edmonton Oilers to win they went for 2. 8-1 over the Florida Panthers in a must-win Game 4. Now, both teams obviously hopping on a plane, flying 8.5 hours down to South Florida for a Game 5 matchup between the Oilers and the Panthers. Panthers up 3-1. I wonder what the odds were on that to take place.
8-1, probably, I don't know. Those are plus 2,000-ish odds, probably similar odds to something else that happened this weekend. But that being 8-1 and then 50-1 or 50-point loss by the Celtics, those teams just wanted to get back home.
That's all. They wanted to win in front of their home crowd. So we do have Game 5s, not only in the NBA tonight and then in hockey 2 days from now, I believe, tomorrow, I think. It is tomorrow night because the 8-hour travel, you take a break whenever you're shifting cities. But Game 5 is much better than 2 sweeps.
Amen.
And maybe there is a momentum shift happening in one of the 2 series. Maybe both of them there's a momentum shift. Maybe the Edmonton Oilers with Connor McDavid scoring a goal and having 3 assists and an 8-1 win reminds himself, yeah, I am the guy. I can score goals. And maybe he just starts slicing and dicing Bob down in Sunrise, making this thing go to 3-2. And once it gets to 3-2, wait a minute. You know what they say the most dangerous lead in hockey is?
What's that?
3-1. What is the series right now? 3-1. Let's go to diehard Florida Panther fan, Darius J. Butler. D-Butch, are we worried that this Edmonton Oilers team maybe woke up into the final series?
Not one bit.
I mean, 8-1. They won by a touchdown.
They got them all out of their system. 8-1, they're great. They showed up on their home ice about damn time. But now we're going back home. We wanted to hoist Lord Stanley down in Sunrise, Florida on our ice. So I'm excited about this game. We will close out. I hope you guys close out tonight. Good luck, because obviously the NBA and the NHL script writers, they're kind of on the same page right now. So hoping for a Celtics victory and followed up by my Panthers.
There was a lot of people that automatically assumed that the series would not be sweeps, strictly because the amount of money that was spent to get these series by one particular network that our show is currently being licensed through at the moment. The amount of money that they were talking about potentially losing if both games were sweeps. You got Game 5, both series. Game 6, both series. Game 7, both series. We can classify those, I would assume, as the biggest grossing games of both of those sports. Why you spend the money on the entire league's TV rights is so that you get that moment potentially. Now, throughout the playoffs, there's been a couple Game 7s, obviously, in the NBA and in the NHL that have been magnifying and electrifying and everything. That's great. But in the finals, if there was 2 sweeps, boy, you're missing out on hundreds of millions of dollars in advertising probably. And obviously, ESPN doesn't have any say in anything, but I'm sure there's a lot of people celebrating the shit out of at least an extension of the game or the series by at least one game. Everybody seems to have leveled back out, though, to your point, about how, Panthers, that's just going to happen. You know, they're going to get one. It's the finals. They're a good team. They're representing the West. They're going to do that. In the NBA, it does sound like people are starting to say, wait a minute, is this what the Mavericks needed? Are the Celtics dead? In the NHL, it's like Panthers are going to win that thing at home. Now the conversation I'm seeing is like, maybe the Celtics don't have this one.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I'm hearing you talk about being nervous a little bit. 8:30 tonight, tip-off on ABC, Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Luka and Kyrie, 6.5-point dogs taking on Lucky, that beautiful, tiny-ass leprechaun.
Thank you.
And the entire city of Boston alongside Tatum and Brown. Are you a little bit nervous for this one as well? It seems like there's more nerves coming from the Boston Celtics people and about that game than there is anywhere near the NHL game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, now that we're this close, we being the Celtics, it is one of those things where you can taste it, you can feel it. All this stuff for these last 5-6 years where they couldn't get it done is kind of coming to a head right now, and hopefully, we can get it done. But I am a little nervous. But look at the entire thing. We saw stats, teams that lose in the NBA Finals since 2001 by 30-plus points. That next game, they are 4-0 straight up, 4-0 against the spread. You look at, 16 years ago today, the Boston Celtics beat the Lakers to win championship 17. Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. Then you think about, the historic loss that they had, biggest loss in Celtics franchise history in the finals. They went on to win that, championship in 1984. And then, of course, the Celtics have never lost 3 straight games this entire season. It hadn't happened once. I think they lost back-to-back games 3 or 4 times maybe. So a lot of the things and stats that are obviously on everybody's sides in this sense are on the Boston Celtics side. But you have to be a little nervous just because of who Luka Doncic is. But Kyrie, we've seen 2 Kyries. We've seen the Kyrie in Boston and we've seen the Kyrie in Dallas. And the Kyrie in Boston is much different than the one in Dallas. I'm not saying that, he's going to go back to Boston and forget how to play, because clearly Game 3 and 4 he did come alive. So there is that sense, hey, maybe he is finally riding this hot streak and that'll continue on in Game 5. But look, Jason Tatum took 10 shots on Friday. I think Jaylen Brown took 14 shots. That's not going to happen again. They are going to get their shots up. Kristaps Porzingis, he didn't play in Game 4, obviously, and he hasn't played since Game 2. So he's had a little bit more rest now, too. So maybe he can get a little bit more minutes, not just kind of the standard, hey, we'll use him if you need to.
Okay, so maybe tonight is the night that the Celtics piece it all together in front of that home crowd.
I hope.
It could be a fun evening, or it could get a little nervy.
Yeah.
You start letting that thing slip away. And Big Mo, that exists. You mentioned a lot of stats. Some stats people don't believe in momentum. That's a bunch of crap. You lose 2 straight, and then you start questioning yourself. Maybe we're not cut out for this. Wait a second. Maybe we're not supposed to win. And then Luka and Kyrie are like, they take his beer, and then they get his beer. And then now we're all the way back. We shall see. Big story of the weekend, though, in our eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a U.S. Open champion for the second time in Bryson DeChambeau. It was an electrifying Sunday for the U.S. Open. If you weren't watching, it came down to the final 3 holes. But it was a slugfest between DeChambeau. Jesus, why don't you just Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise.
Sorry about it.
You're all jacked up. I know, friend of yours.
Yeah.
But DeChambeau, Rory McIlroy were battling all Sunday. DeChambeau in this big baby face turn, how everybody's a fan of his. Even though he's a live, he's a YouTuber. He makes content. He seemingly cares about his fans. He's high-fiving everybody. And he's the guy that got jocked and hit the ball super far. He actually utilizes everything that he can find to hit the ball further and straighter. He came out and said he puts his balls in salt. Says he's got salty balls. Why is that? Well, some of these golf balls that we get, and he wouldn't mention any names, are actually a little bit off balance. It's very difficult to make a perfectly balanced round ball that has dimples in it. So we put it in salt water, and then we're able to see what the heavy side is, so it goes to the bottom. So then we mark it. So when I put it on a tee, I know where the heavy side is and where the light side is, so I can hit that son of a bitch even further. And we're like, hey, listen, buddy, I don't know if what you said makes sense at all, but I do know I appreciate the fact that you want to bomb balls. It was the weekend of Bryson DeChambeau, but he had a late opponent from Ireland who was having the best Sunday out of any golfer to maybe ever play at Pinehurst too. Here's Rory McIlroy on the 16th green. Oh no. His one-stroke lead disappears from a 2-foot 6-inch putt that he powered through the left one. Now let's go to the 18th hole. Now Rory would par 17. He would get to the green on 18. This would be to save par. This would be to tie potentially if DeChambeau is misses it again. 3 foot 11 inches. Go back to the beginning of that, please, Foxy. Literally standing over top of this thing just 2 holes ago. I would not envy this human at all, let alone a human who hadn't won a major in 10 years.
Yikes.
Now he's back married again, which we thought potentially was the key to getting him back in the game. I'm Rory McIlroy. All I needed to be told was that I was loved again. I'm peacocking out here. I'm playing better golf than everybody on this course on the final day of the U.S. Open. Then 16, he missed that short one. Then 18. Good job. Way to get there. Good approach. Now all you got to do is bury this 3 foot 11 one. And all that's going through Rory McIlroy's head right here is, you stink, Rory. You stink. You just missed one from shorter than this. Oh, my God, we're aiming outside the hole. Rory, if you miss this and lose another major. Rory, your wife is back with you. Everything's supposed to be good, but there's no way this ball's going into the hole. Then he decides to putt it. And he was right. And he was right.
Man.
And Bryson DeChambeau now, one group behind him, obviously, because of where they finished the day before. He's on the tee box. He said he could hear the groans and the cheers and kind of knew where he was with everything. They started chanting, USA, 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 after Rory's miss, because it's a U.S. Open and an American was potentially going to win it. So DeChambeau knew that Rory had to fall down one. All he's got to do is hit par. Instead, he hits it into the native land. He hit it. I think he went 5 of 15 fairways on Sunday. Obviously not making life easy. Had to battle. Has those special clubs. Was up underneath a tree. Couldn't take a short one. Had to hack it out. Where's he at? Oh, he finds himself 55 yards from the hole in the sand trap after battling through some tough grass, sand,
brutal
sticks. Well, 55 yards from the sand. And if you go back to his YouTube, there's a video that has surfaced where Bryson DeChambeau actually chit-chats about what shot scares him the most.
If there's a shot you can give me that will give me nightmares, it's not over water. It's not a skull. It's not a shank. It's a 65-yard bunker shot.
Okay, so there's a 65-yard bunker shot. This one's a 55-yard bunker shot, so maybe he views them differently. In the Live Golf Media Guide, whenever Bryson DeChambeau was asked about his least favorite shot that gives you the most difficulty, 60-yard bunker shot. Okay, well, here it is, DeChambeau. You got a 60-yard bunker shot to win the U.S. Open. You got to go up and down. What's he do with it? Magically rolls it to within 3 feet, and then with a spattering cheer of drunks around the green, Bryson DeChambeau would knock this thing center cup to win the U.S. Open and celebrate. What a weekend for DeChambeau. What a weekend for golf. And I want to let everybody on earth know I loved watching this man golf again. And just like everybody else,
I would like to see him golfing with great golfers every single weekend. That's why this Live PGA thing has to come to an end at some point. We'd all be very grateful for it, but golf would love it as well. This dude shook everybody's hand that was at the golf course. He was not on a rush to get out of there at all. He was actually just celebrating, milling around, talking with the boys, filming shit. Actually found himself back in the sand on the 18th hole when the Golf Channel was doing a shot about it, and helps a guy, chit-chats with a guy who's a former golfer named
Johnson Wagner.
Johnson Wagner, great mustache. He puts it up to 2 feet. It's like DeChambeau was enjoying the entire moment. DeChambeau was enjoying being the U.S. Open champion, and it felt like he appreciated the fact that he was there, which is why I think it resonated with all of us. And they're talking about a bunch of
mumbo jumbo,
about this Team USA for the Olympics, and obviously the World Golf Rankings doesn't account for any live events because they don't view it as actual golf. It's well, all right.
Figure it out.
So in all the majors that he's played, he is now top 10 in the world golfing rankings. You have to be in the top 4 top-ranked Americans to make the Olympic team. I would like to say Team USA, figure it out.
Figure it out.
Okay, everybody on earth wants DeChambeau to represent the United States this weekend. No offense to the other 4 that are being selected. And I know Wyndham Clark has had a hell of a run this year.
For sure.
And I absolutely love everything about
Xander.
Schauffele. Well,
Xander won the gold. Let's keep his.
Patrick Cantlay. Listen, love it, but it's Bryson's time. Okay.
Somebody. We need DeChambeau.
Exactly. We get Scotty Scheffler. That makes sense. Scotty's going to be there, but Bryson's got to be there.
I don't love that Team USA just pawns the decision-making process off on the World Golf Rankings.
Sure.
When the World Golf Rankings clearly has a little bit of a bias against some people that are the best in the world golfing in one particular league. I just think that's kind of bullshit. And after the USA chance and winning the U.S. Open, put DeChambeau in the Olympics stat. Long ball whacker guy needs to be representing the United States of America. And Darius, I mean, we're all thinking it, so I'm just going to say it. Since playing golf with you, he's 1 for 1 in majors.
Wow.
So, way to go, D-Buck.
But it was absolutely legendary, just the whole round. And I know you guys been watching golf longer than I have, so I know people hated Bryson for some reason years ago. He's pulled a full 180. I've seen a lot of people tweeting, Greeny being one of them, like, hey, fully on this guy's side now. He's just kind of like, seems like the people's champ. You know, him engaging with the crowd like he was in the practice round, like, hey, sorry, not going to go for the green on this one, don't boo me. And then even to the last putt, I think Pavone, maybe, they wanted him to put it out. I wanted him to put it out as well so he have his moment. But he was like, hey, calm down, relax, I got it. Hits the putt, sinks the putt.
That's because what's-his-face would have gave him a read, I guess. So it would have been it would have been a little bit of a
gamesmanship.
I think it would have been a cloud of
in the negative fashion.
It would have been like
people would have been pissed because Pavone was the shorter putt and on the same line.
So it would have gave DeChambeau the line. So then there would have been people bitching about the only reason why he made it. It's easy to miss that, but we just saw Rory miss too. So that even though that is DeChambeau being babyface.
Correct.
And to your point about him saying, "Sorry, I'm not going to the green here, guys. I'm laid up." How about before a putt?
Getting him jacked.
Like, whenever you're supposed to putt, he's like Happy Gilmore out there. Whenever you're supposed to putt, you're supposed to be like locked in, super serious. Like there was Rory chants happening, and Rory wouldn't even look at the crowd. You just like walking in there. DeChambeau, like, hey, thanks. Camera on him after he hits a monster drive or something like that. He like looks at the camera, head nod, how you doing? Everything's content to DeChambeau. Great for the game, great for golf. Now, Rory McIlroy's going to be
devastating.
He's in a spot.
Jesus. I mean, those are real short putts. Just as somebody that would miss those putts as well in those situations, well, I never get to that situation. Sunday, U.S. Open, for the win, for a tie. Like, I'm never going to be there. But if there's a couple, I mean, at Tahoe.
Sure.
There's a couple of those.
Yeah.
The things you're saying to yourself.
Oh, yeah.
So rude. Just so mean. And then, like, the greens at Pinehurst have been devastating all weekend.
Yeah.
He was aiming outside the hole on 18 from whatever 3-foot putt that was, and that thing broke all the way back to the side. I don't think he had a confident swing on it because what happened at 16, but it was still, what a nightmare for Rory.
On the way back on that, he like kind of gets the yips. He almost like second guesses himself, and I know he's had several like bad chokes the last couple, over the last 10 years. I don't know if you ever recover from this one because it was just like it was gift wrapped, handed to him. DeChambeau,
he fought all the way back.
He did,
Two strokes.
and it was and he had opportunities. Like it's not like he was
spraying it everywhere. Like it just came down to putting, and he just got in his own head. And I don't know. And Rory, people say whatever, but for him to do what he did afterwards, when he just, so defeated, I'm getting out of here. I'm not talking to the media.
Well,
I'm not talking to anybody. Usually he's not. That's why I think this one more so than any of these other ones. I think he may have started thinking wow, I'm legitimately never going to win again. I'm never going to win another major.
This dude looked like an NFL coach at the end of OTAs, tires squealing on the way out, and everybody's making a big deal of it. It's I would do the same. What are we even talking? The fact that they made him stand in that room
out of there earlier
with a camera on him, I would have thought to myself, Rory, I would be out. I understand what happened. No matter what anybody else says about Rory, it is nowhere near as bad as what he's saying about himself.
Absolutely.
Sure. So we would let Rory know, hey, you had a good day. Hey, that's golf, Rory. You'll be back, Rory.
You're all right, Rory.
With that being said, DeChambeau said, I saw him take the lead, and I thought to myself, that ain't going to happen. That's why we need him on Team USA. Pivoting away from golf, we'll have Bryson DeChambeau on the program today in about an hour and 20. Nice. Cannot wait to talk to him. Congrats to him. It should be a fascinating convo, especially with maybe his lucky charm being in the Thunderdome and Darius J. Butler. Joining us now is a man who's been keeping track of a story that I had no idea was happening, but is obviously massive for all of us NFL fans. From Pro Football Talk, the founder of Pro Football Talk, NBC Sports' Mike Florio.
Yeah, Florio!
Florio, hey, sorry we made you wait there. We just went on an entire rant about Rory and DeChambeau. Did you watch any of that? It was fantastic golf.
I think it was on NBC, which probably makes it a fireable offense to say that I didn't watch it, but I didn't watch it.
Oh, Florio.
I apologize to my corporate overlords at Comcast. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, they hear you too. They know what you just said. They're going to try to get that wiped off the internet, obviously. But you missed a great one. Obviously, the majors are going to be fantastic, especially with the Live PGA storylines. Nonetheless, congrats on the coverage by NBC. Yeah. Tarico back on the call.
Oh, yeah.
They said old buddy was super negative. What's his name?
No, Chambly?
Brandel.
Yeah, they say he's super negative. A lot of the internet murdering him.
Yeah.
Anyways, great golf. Florio, okay, so this morning, I looked on the internet and I saw Roger Goodell might be testifying today in a class action lawsuit against the NFL. I had no idea that was happening. Then I also read Jerry Jones might be testifying either today or sometime this week in a class action lawsuit. And I said, what is this? Roger Goodell is about to take the stand. We're talking about one of the greatest speakers of all time. This is something that I wish we all would have heard of. And it was all coming from your website. What the hell is happening? Where are we right now? And how does this end, probably, for everybody? Florio, as you've been the only one covering this, seemingly.
It really is strange. And I've made this point both on the website and on Twitter that it seems like no one's paying attention to this, and I don't know why. I don't know if we just haven't prioritized it yet. We haven't taken it seriously. I think it's good that people like you are seeing, hey, whoa, Goodell testifying, Jerry Jones testifying. Maybe this is something we should be paying closer attention to. This is a case that goes back to 2015. It was filed by a San Francisco pub known as the Mucky Duck, and it challenges the way, fundamentally at its core, it challenges the way the NFL sells the Sunday ticket package, the out-of-market way to, if you're a Packers fan in Pittsburgh, you can watch those games, and they market it like that. The commercials play to that idea that if I'm a displaced fan of some team and I'm in a different market, I can watch the games that way. So the fundamental question is this. Is the NFL forcing the Sunday ticket provider, previously DirecTV, now YouTube TV, to overcharge in order to ensure that a certain number of people won't get it and that they'll watch the CBS and Fox games made available to them in their local markets? It's a premium product, and there's plenty of evidence that's come in already that the NFL doesn't want it to be too cheap. It doesn't want it to be something that has a huge subscriber base, and the argument is it's trying to protect CBS and Fox. That's the core of the case, and I think caught up within that is just this idea that's been lingering ever since I first became aware of the Sunday ticket package. Why do I have to buy the whole thing for the whole year when I only care about one team's games? Why do I have to buy every week if the team that I want to watch has a Monday night game that week and I'm not going to watch any out-of-market games this weekend? So however this plays out, it could force the NFL to really change the way that games are made available to consumers. And that's a win for all of us, regardless of the verdict, regardless of what happens on appeal. this could rattle the cage enough for the NFL that they say, maybe we need to change the way this is. Maybe we do need to make it cheaper. Maybe we do need to let people buy one team at a time, 1 week at a time, one game at a time. So I hate to say it, but it's true. If the NFL loses, there's a chance that all of us win.
Okay, so obviously if people are going to pay cheaper money to watch their favorite team, that's good news for humans. The bottom line of the NFL is obviously something that will take a massive shot here. I think I saw from one of your tweets, like, potentially $21 billion in this class action lawsuit to over 2.5 million people that could potentially sign on to file alongside this mucky duck lawsuit that's taking place. The NFL, I assume, is just saying, we're a business. We're allowed to charge whatever the hell we want. This isn't the only way to watch our shows. This is an additive to everything we do. This is like people that charge $150 for T-shirts. That's what their business is. This is what our business is. Is that what they're saying? And how likely is that to be the winning side in the end of this entire thing?
Well, I mean, that's the gist of it. That they're not engaged in anything that would violate the antitrust laws, that they are just managing their business. It's a premium product. It makes choice available to all consumers. They can watch the games in the local market if they want to. They can purchase Sunday Ticket if they want to. But again, the fight goes down to the pricing and whether and to what extent the NFL, working with CBS and Fox and DirecTV, now YouTube TV, is conspiring to basically fix the price in order to protect the contracts under which CBS and Fox pay billions of dollars to the NFL for those Sunday games. And they want people to watch their local CBS and Fox affiliates and drive up the ratings that way and not send them off to Sunday Ticket. The antitrust angle here, and this is fundamentally an antitrust case. The NFL has an exemption dating back to 1961 as it relates to selling packages to CBS, Fox, NBC, ABC, the broadcast networks. They're allowed to sell all the games together. If you want the Cowboys, you also got to take the games maybe you don't want, and we decide what goes where. They can't be sued for antitrust for that, even though they are 32 different businesses operating under the shield. They're 32 separate businesses. They would be subject to antitrust law. They're trying to argue in this case that the broadcast antitrust exemption extends to whatever is happening with Sunday Ticket and what they may or may not be doing that would otherwise violate the law. So I think they have arguments that, hey, it's not antitrust violation, and then even if it is, it falls under our exemption that we've had since 1961. So they always have a good defense. They always have good arguments, and it all gets worked out in the end, and that's why I wish we had more blow-by-blow coverage of this thing so I could have a better assessment of which way it's going. What I've seen so far, it feels like a tough case for the NFL because it seems pretty clear that, yeah, somebody's putting their thumb on the scale to drive that price up so people don't buy it.
Got it. And I think the first real headline that I saw of this case, without knowing this case was taking place, was that ESPN offered up like a $70 thing. Sunday Ticket Trial shows ESPN proposed selling the full season package for only $70 along with a single team option. The NFL didn't like the idea. Now you're getting that from the court documents, which I assume Mucky Duck's representation are the ones that are saying that that's how the NFL handled it all. But for ESPN, hey, let's go, man.
Yeah, $70.
Hey, way to go,
ESPN. It's a good look for ESPN. That's right. It shows that the ESPN was trying to, and look, I mean, you can say they're trying to create more options that are affordable for the consumer, but they're also trying to make money off of the investment that you would make in buying the rights to the Sunday Ticket package. You said something earlier that the NFL would lose money if it has to change the way it does business. I don't know that that's the case. They're still going to get their fee from the Sunday Ticket provider. Nice. And it should be enough for the NFL to say, what are you paying us $2 billion a year? Okay, fine. Do whatever you want with it. As long as we get our $2 billion, do whatever you want with it. If you're going to set a low price point and have a ton of subscribers, fine. High price point, small subscribers, we don't care. We're getting our money either way. And I think that if they're forced to abandon this practice of we want the price high, they're still going to make their money. Somebody's still going to give them a huge amount in order to have the rights to Sunday Ticket.
As somebody, amen, and I don't think the NFL will ever lose money. I was just kind of talking about the $21 billion that might be subject.
No, that'd be a big check to write. Yeah, that's a big check to write.
Yeah, but the NFL is always going to make money. They'll figure it out. Everybody's going to have 3 New Jersey options the next week after that, and all of a sudden we got $21 billion all the way back. So I know this because I was definitely sued by somebody, and Mr. Favre. And the whole thing that was being seemingly talked about by his lawyer publicly whenever he was going on podcasts, and also privately with my lawyers that were handling the whole thing back in Pittsburgh. Shout out to Sarah Bronder, class of 2005, Plum High School. But nonetheless, all they kept saying is, does Pat want to go to Discovery? Does Pat want to go to Discovery? And they were asking me that question, and I was like, yes, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I will definitely go to Discovery. You send that question on back the other way. Obviously that's what is this have Discovery and everything? So like every conversation that the NFL seemingly would have had to have with YouTube and Google, whoever they were negotiating with, would then be found? Is that what's taking place right now? Like, what do we know about this?
That's already happened.
Okay, so that's
already happened.
Okay.
Here's just a brief overview of the journey of this thing.
And where are we right now? We're on the lower court system. Yeah. Like, where the hell are we in this entire thing?
The case
Roger Goodell is testifying. This feels like a big deal.
Yeah. Huge.
This feels like a huge deal.
This is the trial. This is the culmination of years of roller coaster in the court system. The case was thrown out, and then on appeal, the case was revived, and other cases have been consolidated, and you've got 2 million people in this thing. They've already done all the discovery. What the NFL usually does when they're sued, they try to find a way to get out of it early. A silver bullet, motion to dismiss, or if they can, you have to send this thing to arbitration, ideally arbitration that is ultimately presided over by Roger Goodell. They try to do that whenever and wherever they can to keep it out of the public eye, and it's more likely to result in a favorable outcome. This was not dismissed. This went forward, and that's when you get thousands, if not millions, of documents and emails, and you review them, and you question people under oath in a deposition setting, and you do all the things that lead up to the trial. And just before the trial, what happens is, and the NFL did this here, there's a procedure called a motion for summary judgment. It says to the court, we don't need to have a jury come in here and decide anything. Based upon the facts as they are undisputed, these are the facts and they are undisputed, as Kevin Bacon said in A Few Good Men. Under the undisputed facts, apply the law and we win. The NFL tried that and they lost. They had to go to court, and they started June 5. I think they believe it's going to be a 3-week trial. The plaintiff is already rested. They're in the defendant's case in chief. That's where Goodell and Jones are going to be called to testify. So yeah, this thing is happening. The trial is happening, and a jury is going to enter a verdict. And for a lot of people, and it's going to be fewer people now that you're talking about it, but a lot of people, when they see the news, if the NFL gets whacked, they're going to be like, where have I been the last 9 years?
That's how I felt literally this morning. I mean, I guess I've missed out on 8 years. We're now getting video of Roger Goodell's tunnel walk. His fit is from Men's Warehouse. It does appear.
Okay.
Looks to be in jovial spirits. He's got good confidence. One hand in the pocket, letting people know he's ready for business if need be, but the other hand's out.
Yep.
Roger Goodell's about to go put on a show in this thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, and I both know that, Florio. This guy, he's about to go do in this particular courtroom, the judges at one point probably going to say, damn, okay.
This guy's good.
This guy's legit. He's the greatest speaker of all time, I think.
Pat,
go ahead.
Here's the thing. And I agree with your assessment of how he performs in a press conference setting. Think of how a press conference is, though. In a press conference, you got a room full of reporters, and they all show up with the question that they had come to the table ready to ask. So one reporter asks a question, maybe on a difficult issue, and you get word salad, and he stops, and then in comes another reporter on a completely different issue. Because I got my question I'm going to ask. I'm not going to ask a follow-up question. I'm not going to say, hey, you didn't answer that last question. They're going to ask a different question, and it just ricochets around from reporter to reporter. When you're in this setting and you have one person asking you the question, if you ask a tough question and you get word salad in response,
I don't know who's asking the question. Again. I got Roger Goodell over whoever's asking the question.
Until you answer it.
Listen, I understand that you got to check people and push back whenever they're giving answers, and I guess you have all the answers. If you're able to do that, you have to have all the answers. Goodell's got all the answers.
Yeah, and he was there before already. Goodell. He
was on. Did you see that when they called him Mr. Goodell? Do you think this is a proper usage of the United States taxpayer money, Mr. Goodell?
I remember when his name first surfaced in 2006 as a potential commissioner. I thought, how do you pronounce this guy's name? And but it's amazing. It's been 18 years now since he's had that job, and he's done it well. His bosses love him. He does the job well. He serves as the guy who is the human shield for them to do whatever they want and say whatever they want, and he stands up there and takes the bullets and does it well. He handles himself in press conferences well, but Pat, I'll tell you this. He had to testify 2 years ago in a case where they're trying to get their insurance companies to pay for the full concussion settlement. Every penny of it they wanted to come from their insurance policies. 400 pages, and I read every one of them and managed to stay awake for most of it. When he's in that setting and it's just him and a lawyer and his lawyer, you can detect he isn't real happy and he tries to do sword play with the lawyer. You got to be careful when you're in front of a judge and a jury. In front of a jury, you got to be very careful. Everything you do, they're watching. Everything you say, they're listening. And it's a different reality. When you think about it, whether it's Jones, Robert Kraft, Roger Goodell, these guys are used to being the emperor everywhere they go. All of a sudden, remember that movie with Tom Hanks? I'm the captain now. The judge is the captain now. Another Few Good Men reference. To Jack Nicholson, sit back down.
Hey, you're killing it so much. You hit the mic. Hey, we appreciate the hell out of you, man. Thank you for breaking that down for us. We'll continue to follow as you just beat the hell out of a microphone. I love that. Everybody's all jacked up for DeChambeau.
Hell yeah.
We appreciate you, Florio. You're the man.
Thanks, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Talk to you next time.
Pro Football Talk founder, Mike Florio.
Yeah, Florio.
That's a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Huge deal.
Literally, called Florio this morning after I read his tweet. I'm like, is different Roger Goodell? You're talking about a different Roger Goodell going to testify? He goes, no, nobody's talking. I don't know why anybody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about it. It's a big deal. Open court, I guess.
Yeah, shout out ESPN too. If they do the $70 option, obviously they won't. But that being a thing, and then also the individual team being something. Like I was thinking about that too. Like, hey, if I only want to watch Patriots games and I don't want to watch the rest of them, that not being an option yet kind of stinks, but that would be a huge kind of level up for that entire thing.
The quote from Roger Goodell as he was walking into court was, is it football season yet? That's what Roger Goodell asked me as we were exiting the security station in Los Angeles Federal Courthouse. The NFL boss. What if he starts going by NFL boss?
Should.
I'm the boss.
Twitter account?
Jerry Jones' first statement while he's taking – that guy's not the boss. Just so he did lie under oath.
Yep, I'd like this on record. He's not the boss.
Not, I am. Okay, there's 31 others. Not 30. Because we don't count Murphy up there in Green Bay. So there's a lot of bosses. He ain't one of them. I'd like to strike that from.
Would Jerry be the only other owner?
So he's part of the media rights deal. Everybody talks about that's why like the Dallas Cowboys are on TV all the time. Not only because they have the largest fan base and obviously yada, 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 but allegedly Jerry Jones is a part of the media rights group that does all the negotiating. Yeah. So playing like Cards Against Humanity, and we talk about this a lot, when you're playing Cards Against Humanity, you got to play the person that is picking. Okay, that's a game where you have to have the funniest entry, and people always try to play like what they think is the funniest. The game is playing the person who's picking what they will think is the funniest. That's what I think a lot of people thought because Jerry Jones is one of the lead people on the media rights deal. It's like, we'll put the Cowboys, boom, bang, boom, boom. Then whenever we're negotiating with Jerry, it's a lot easier. There's obviously a committee and a panel, but I think Jerry has been hoisted as the guy. And I might be completely wrong on this. This is just kind of how it's been understood publicly and privately in this entire thing is he's like the media rights guy. So he would certainly be a part of this particular conversation. Yeah. Imagine, what is the price now for 1 year?
$280?
$400.
$480?
Yeah, okay. $450, $480. Yeah,
$480 or something like that is the cost. And if it's 2.5 million people or whatever, I think I did the math at $450, and it was like 1.15 billion for that, and then let alone all the other add-on. And it's like, yeah, they're never going to lose money. I mean,
no chance.
They're just going to generate capital forever.
Also, I was thinking about if you had the option just to buy a game on a week-to-week basis, how much do you think? I mean, it's like a pay-per-view event. Like, how much do you think they're selling a single Sunday night football game for, or whatever the case? That's not on cable.
The things that Roger Goodell is going to say to this lawyer. Have you ever run a business before? So we're negotiating one-game rights deals worth billions of dollars with Amazon, and Netflix is involved now, which you were going to ask about, but ran out of time with Florio. We certainly should try to get his take on that, how they're trying to find which network is going to help them on the back end broadcast their games, much like Amazon hired NBC to do their thing. Netflix was looking to do the same. They're struggling, allegedly. That's what reports on the internet are saying, mostly because these people want to welcome in a new competitor. Well, NBC said yes to Amazon immediately. Yeah. I mean, you can get our world famous director.
Right.
What's the Paisan? Fred
Al's guy.
Fred Gaudelli?
Gaudelli. Yeah, they put the greatest of all time, allegedly, on there. Al Michaels on there. It's like NBC kind of,
I don't want to say carte blanche, but they did for Amazon. Now, allegedly, maybe Netflix are saying no to. Maybe we don't.
Sure.
We'll see how that goes. Money will get this whole thing figured out. I'll be excited to see who will be calling those games. But Roger Goodell is going to point out how much money they're negotiating one game for.
Yeah.
So whenever you're talking about like people being able to carte blanche games, like that kind of works against our business that we already have. We sell this package. This is how much it is. It is a premium product. You can put 4 on TV at one time. You can literally watch whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. We got a Red Zone channel with this guy who somehow doesn't pee for the entire day, also available as one of the options. It's like, yeah, maybe ESPN want to do it for $70, but we chose for our business not to go with ESPN.
Yeah, nor will we ever do it for $7.
Like, I feel like that's all I can say. I don't like it. I think it's better for fans to be cheaper. Obviously, our show, always free, is free, will remain free. Like, I believe in that mantra of like, hey, if people can't afford it, they should still be able to enjoy party. And I think the NFL probably feels that way with the local deals that they have done and the bunny things. And with social media now, you can see stuff. Like, I think it's going to be a tough one to crack Roger Goodell. Because what's the guy going to say? He's greedy. And then Goodell's going to go, you ever run a business before? How about one that's the biggest in the world?
Yeah.
How about that? So I don't know how they lose this. And I think that's maybe why Goodell's walking in.
Yeah.
Football season yet?
I'm about to go put on a business acumen 101 to this lawyer. Now, Florio said he ran through the transcripts, 400 pages of that insurance thing, which also such an NFL move. We're not paying the CTE concussion.
Yeah.
That's, you guys are our insurance company. You're paying all that. They're like, to hell we are. We're insurance companies. We don't actually pay stuff. That's not in our business. It is. And then Goodell going in there trying to blame, like, that is just the most NFL move of all time. They have all the money in the world. They will continue to get all the money in the world. And we just kind of got to live in it and watch the hell of it because the sport is awesome.
And in that,
and that's why we love it.
That's why we love it.
In that situation too, I like talking about like Goodell getting uncomfortable and kind of squirming. I think the situations are very different too. And you're dealing with concussions and like former players who are. Their health is bad now, and you got guys dying, and then this is like a
but
hey,
dude, talking to insurance companies, that's one of the only times ever Goodell can do this.
Yeah, true.
He can high horse 2 insurance companies.
Yeah,
like if Goodell talks shit to an insurance company, he's like babyface, even though he's trying to pay none of the money.
Right.
It's a fantastic business. I don't know how they do it. And he said he's a shield for the owners. Goodell told us right to our face he wouldn't lie.
Exactly.
He serves the fans.
Yeah.
Always.
He serves the game.
He does.
Always has.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, a man who is going to give us all the info we need about tonight's Game 5 of the NBA Finals, where the Celtics are favored by 6.5 over the Mavericks. 11-year NBA vet, future NBA coach, Austin Rivers.
What's up, guys?
Hey, just putting out in the universe, future NBA coach.
I love it.
Yeah, just putting it out. Hey,
love it.
Stephen A. said this morning that he's heard from numerous black coaches who are pissed off about LeBron James and J.J. Redick doing a podcast, and then that inevitably potentially becoming like a head coaching interview throughout the entire year. We're going to hear a lot of that type of stuff, I think, about J.J. potentially getting this job. If he wins, it doesn't matter. If he loses, it all comes back to light. Is that an accurate? Because that's how it would be in the NFL if it was kind of playing. Is that how it's going to be in the NBA as well, Austin?
Well, it's definitely an easy target just due to the fact that, for one, it's a Lakers job. That's like the hottest seat in basketball. The expectations there are so high already. You got James Worthy critiquing your game. You got Magic Johnson tweeting about you. You got Snoop Dogg tweeting about you. You got every celebrity in the world there at the games. Obviously, when you coach a player like LeBron James and Anthony Davis, that is going to be at the top of pressure. And then you add the fact that he has a pod with him and now could possibly be the coach. There obviously is a conflict of interest there. So that's now getting in the way of, well, is JJ a good coach or not? Or could he be a good coach or not? I think he's made to be a coach. Just from my talks with JJ, I played with JJ for numerous years. He's a basketball brainiac. I don't know if the timing of him with this organization fits best. I would like JJ to go to like a young team and be able to like have input on players and draft picks and trades and have like control. You know how some of these young, talented coaches go to these programs and they kind of like build with them. The Lakers are more like flash in a pan. Like, we need someone, can you win right now? It's a lot of pressure. This could end very well for JJ, or it could be, I don't know, a quick stop just due to the fact that the Lakers history. Frank Vogel won a finals championship in the bubble in couple years later, they fired him.
Yeah, and he's been fired from two jobs since. I mean, the NBA coaching world is crazy. That's why your old man being around for as long as he's been around. He's also in the show now, too, Clips.
Yeah. Crushing it,
He's also in...
looks good in it.
Anyways, it looks great.
Yeah, yoked.
He looks jacked.
Made him jacked in it.
So much energy, too, just oozing from his core.
I don't know what that means.
I mean, he talks a lot of shit.
Those rants in that show were unbelievable. When they were talking about, when he's talking about, what was it, Matt Barnes' wife, or I don't know who he was talking about. I was like, I don't remember that one.
Then Chris Paul, he was on the show whenever we were down in Carolina, and he was like, my wife and I watched one episode of that, and we're like, what the?
Yeah.
You know, what is? And then now there's a clip of Chris Paul coming out. It's like,
crying.
Nobody's really getting portrayed well. And I think everybody's pretty pissed off that they're even a part of this entire thing. But
it's tough when you make those movies and you don't have like the actual input from
there's your dad.
There's your dad.
That's your dad. You got to say to your dad, please show some respect to your father.
Growing up must have been tough.
That is Morpheus. As your dad, have you talked to your dad about how big of a compliment it is for Morpheus to play him, though?
That's true. He was very excited when the news came out that Lawrence was going to play him. He was like, I mean, this is a win-win, right? I was like, so far.
Yeah, for now.
The eternal pessimist that is Austin Rivers. Okay, so the thing is, if you win, nobody cares.
Correct. Yep.
And that's kind of Joe Mazzulla's entire take. He was the coach of the month for the NBA, and somebody on the team congratulated him, and he said, nobody cares. And then you just keep moving forward.
Love that.
Joe Mazzulla seems to have the right mindset. You and others that have talked to J.J. Redick and know basketball say he has a good mind for it. We're Paul, good luck out there, even though it hasn't happened yet.
Yep,
good luck out there.
Yep.
He's calling the NBA Finals. Obviously, the next game, Game 5, is this evening. Celtics favored by 6.5 at home. They get their asses beat in Game 4 by 38, obviously at a historic rate. It's the biggest blowout in the history of the Celtics Finals. It's top 4 blowout in the history of the NBA Finals as a whole. It was a game in which they could have won a championship. Dallas had to win it. Another back-against-the-wall game for Dallas in Boston. How do you see it going, and how should we feel about maybe the Celtics recovering or losing all momentum here?
Yeah, this is a big game just due to the fact that right now, Boston's in complete control of this series still. They're up 3-1. No one's ever come back from 3-0. We all know that. The game is in Boston. They're ready to party tonight. We know that. We know that city's ready to turn up. But if Dallas is able to come in there and win, it gets a little weird. Now it starts to get, because now the pressure turns to where...
Wait a minute.
Us as the media are going to start running with this thing.
Wait a minute.
What do you mean after?
Yeah,
After one day.
I mean, now we're back in Dallas. Because if we go Game 7, we don't want Game 7 Luka. You don't want to go against Game 7 Luka.
No, you don't.
You keep him out of that.
Yeah.
Keep him out of that game.
Oh,
so
no.
the key is to win before we get to 7, because you don't want that man right there, the baddest man on the planet, with the ball in his hands. I mean, that you don't want him Game 7. I think they win tonight, honestly. I think Boston wins by like 10 or 11 plus. Especially coming off of that type of loss in Dallas, which was obviously pretty embarrassing for a team like that. You give Dallas credit, gentlemen's sweep. They went out there and they fought and they played hard.
Hell yeah.
For them to win tonight, though, man, I mean, they're going to need they're going to have unbelievable efforts from Luka and Kyrie, as well as the rest of those guys. Some of these guys who have been quiet, Derrick Jones, PJ Washington, some of these dudes who have had kind of quiet finals, they need a lot out of them tonight to win on the road in Boston. They haven't won yet, obviously, in this series on the road. They're going to need that tonight.
How about the Mavs just coming alive, though, in Game 4 in front of their fans, too? Like, their fans probably going to be pretty bummed out going into the offseason. And then potentially last game they see is like the best performance they've had literally all year. Good for them. Now, would be great for all of us if this series continues to go a little bit. Obviously, Connor's a little bit nervous, Austin.
Yeah, a little bit nervous, Austin. I like how you say you don't want, Game 7 Luka. Do you know who has the most points in Game 7 in the playoffs in the history of the NBA?
Let me in.
Jason Tatum, actually. But funny enough,
okay.
Just so
he's playing still. People forget he is playing.
He is still on the Celtics.
Jay Tatum.
Gonna get a lot of that tonight right there.
Jay Tatum.
One of these two. Maybe.
PK Subban joining us.
A couple of these
next
reverse
hour.
slams. But looking at Game 4, Austin, is it almost better that they just got killed by 38 points and were able to rest some guys versus like a devastating last-second loss? What are your thoughts on that? And do you think that it does almost bode well that, hey, we can just bury that one. That has actually never happened. I believe they were looking at stats. It was the worst offensive game and worst defensive game that they've ever had, at least in the Joe Mazzulla era. Is that kind of a different type of mindset when it is that bad of a loss, and do you think it does bode well for him?
I think, I mean, listen, sports is like, it's like 50, 60% mental, man. You know, sometimes it's all about perspective and how we label things in our brains. You know, that's
80,
a game where, like, so
maybe 90.
Yeah, no, for real. You guys know, it's all about how you view things and how you put things in your head. And I think a game like last game, where they obviously didn't have it on both sides of the ball, they lose by a million points. It's very easy to go in the locker room and everybody be like, hey, man, listen, this was a nasty game for us. Let's flush this one down. We've been great all playoffs. They've been dominant all season. Listen, Dallas came out in a desperate game. They played great. We lost. Let's flush it. We'll go back to Boston. We're going to take this one. This game tonight, we're going to get, prime Boston. I mean, we're going to get their best effort. And that is why it has some Boston fans nervous, because if you lose tonight's game,
oh no,
it gets weird. You know what I mean? No. Now you got to go back to Dallas, and like the momentum can shift. I don't see it happening, because even if Dallas did win tonight, they'd have to win 2 more. And Boston's just so good, but you just never know. I mean, this Boston team, we have not seen them take that jump yet. We haven't seen them, kill. They have the guy right down. And we need a kill shot. Oh, no. I need a kill shot from Boston.
They need Tank Davis.
Yeah, that was the conversation before the fight.
Oh my God, what a fight, by the way.
Yeah, he said. I guess he said before the fight. I heard Steven talking about it on First Take. He said you took this fight too early, because Frank was 18-0, I guess, coming into this fight. He said too early in your career to be taking this fight. You're not ready yet. And in the 8th round, boom, bang. Bongos on
look at him just
face.
lining him up. Look at him just lining. He was on the ropes the whole fight.
And that's it right there.
God.
That one. And then, to be clear, the backflip off the top rope. Now, the 4 ropes in boxing is certainly something to keep guys in so they can't fall out. Tough to climb. Tank obviously says, wait a second. He's going to the top rope. 8th round knockout. Perfect backflip from Big Tank. But you're talking about, and he's 32 and 0, or maybe 33 and 0. I forget what it is. He has a killer instinct. He has a killer instinct. You're saying Boston doesn't. But
geez.
I mean, that one.
Just right on the button.
That one, like you want.
No, I think Boston has it. I think Boston has it. And I think what put Boston over the edge versus other years is the addition of Drew Holiday. When they grabbed Drew, I think it added another element to this team, just in terms of depth and overall just having guys who can play on both sides of the ball. I do think Boston closes it out tonight. I really do. All I'm saying is if they do not win tonight, it gets a little weird.
Okay.
I know as a basketball fan, and for all of us, we want some fireworks.
Of course.
As somebody that does a daily sports show, yes, would love this thing to go as long as possible. But let's say they do find the killer instinct and they win this thing. D-Butch got a question for you.
Yeah, also, you've been in those locker rooms. You know how these egos work. I saw a report or tweet or post something about Steph Curry almost been in tears when he didn't win Finals MVP one year. Big game tonight. Let's say they do close it out. Obviously, Jaylen Brown got the Eastern Conference Final player. Is that going to be a thing between Tatum and Brown, like tonight? Like, hey, I want to be the guy that closes it out. Or do you think, hey, they just get out of each other's way and take the best shot available, whatever it is, throughout this game? Or do you think that kind of gets in the way at all?
No, I think they're trying to win. I think they both know they got to win. This is a series that they'll be critiqued much harder if they don't win this playoffs or win the finals, rather than, who wins Finals MVP. The problem is, us as a media, we do obviously highlight the individual stuff just as much as the team award. And we always look back at that award with Steph, which was so strange. We held that as like as a thing against him for the longest time until he was able to win. What was it, 2021 or 20? Whenever they beat Boston, and he finally got one. Everyone's like, "Hey, he got one." We're like, I mean, he probably should have won the one with Andre Iguodala, but they obviously gave it to Iggy. Listen, Jaylen Brown has played the best in the conference finals and in the finals.
Oh, just say it. He won the MVP. Play. In your eyes, he's the MVP. You can say it, yeah.
And I think Tatum's the best player in the Celtics, but you can't give awards off who you think is the best player, who has historically been the best player as of recently. Jaylen Brown has been a guy who's played kind of more consistent on both sides of the ball and been a little bit more efficient. I mean, look at this. My God.
Filthy.
But if Tatum goes for like 30 or 40 tonight, they want to give it to him, right? I mean, it's good for the league. It's good for the Celtics. They want Tatum to have that trophy, especially after giving, I think, Brown the Eastern Conference. I think that was like a prequel to that. They gave him that because Boston's like, yo, listen, Tatum, you go handle business in the finals. The big dog's yours. All right, but you got to go do that. He's got to go out there and play well, man. He can't have one of these games where he shoots like 6 for 19 or 6 for 22 and Jaylen Brown has like 30. They're going to be in a position where they're like, yo, we have to give it to Brown. So
I think Connor said earlier he only took 10 shots, I guess, last game or whatever. Going to have to be a little bit different this evening. And we assume Tatum, Brown, and the boys are going to go ham tonight.
Yeah.
That's just saying. That little leprechaun's going to be doing a little jig on the wooden floor up there in TD Garden.
Can you imagine that city tonight? Can you imagine that city tonight? They get another banner in there, especially in modern day era. They're going to be going. My God,
Boston's
going to be electric tonight if they win. Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
God, massholes losing their mind in celebration. We haven't seen that in a long time.
No, been waiting.
It's been a long time since Boston massholes have been able to really celebrate something.
February 2019.
What do y'all call them?
Massholes? That's not what I call them. That's what they are. That's actually, there's like Yinzers.
Like proud of.
From Pittsburgh, Hoosiers from Indiana. Massholes are from Massachusetts.
Massholes just seems a little bit more. There's just
no. It's my delivery. That's always my issue. is how I deliver something. Is always the. Okay. It's a compliment.
It's supposed to sound like that.
Okay,
that's how you're supposed to deliver it.
Yeah, like
right.
Last week I was out with 4 massholes, and I will tell you, the night was certainly something. A lot of question marks.
Of course.
A lot of things said, but we woke up the next morning. We said, "Wow, what a night with the boys from Massachusetts."
Fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. They know it. We're not making this up.
Okay.
I'm observing and reporting. I'm a journalist. Maybe you should think about doing the same exact thing. Maybe you should think about it. Maybe you should think about it. Okay? I saw some sweet tats. I didn't know you were all tatted up the way you are with the photo. Happy Father's Day. Hope you had a great one.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. I got a daughter due Friday.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shit. Okay, congratulations. Cool. Yeah. Here we go. Hope for, obviously, a safe delivery and everything like that. How's house right now? I mean, we're
she's good. We're on. Yeah, it's DEFCON 9 right now. At any day now, she could look at me and be like, "It's time to go." It's my first daughter. I'm nervous. I got 2 boys, but so it's been smooth sailing so far. But they say when the daughter comes, perspective changes.
Well, they also say whenever 3 come, right? Because now you're outnumbered. Right, is what they say. So, daughter, I have a 13-month-old daughter.
Nice. Yeah, Happy Father's Day, by the way.
Hey, thank you. It was a cool day. It was a really cool day. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, boys. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Out there.
Appreciate that.
That masshole right there, not a father.
Thank God.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we've been saying this whole time. All right,
For what we know.
Yeah. True.
That mullet in the streets is a dangerous man. I can already see it right now.
You are not lying, brother. You are not lying. Outside. You should see whenever the music starts hitting his soul too. I mean, he does a lot of this.
That's why I'm already. If I go to Ibiza or anything this summer, I'm calling you, man.
Okay.
I need you to come with.
I'll be there. I will be there.
If you go to Ibiza with a 1-month or 2-month-old daughter, I mean, you're certainly a ledge in some people's eyes. But other people will be saying, "Is this guy from Massachusetts?"
Yeah.
That's what some people will be asking this entire thing. Hey, we appreciate the hell out of you, man. We got a hard outcome, and we're thankful that you answer the call seemingly every time we make it. We appreciate you.
Every time, man. You guys call, I'll be here. I appreciate you guys as always.
Hopefully we'll talk to you again before the baby girl arrives, but if not, congrats, good luck, and all that stuff.
I'm here, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Austin Rivers.
Yeah, Austin.
He's got full leg.
Full leg, yeah.
Sweet. Leg tats are interesting.
I think those would hurt real bad.
Real bad. Those have really, I think, come into their own as of.
Are they thigh? Because those would hurt. The shin. The shin. I've heard the shin is actually not bad at all.
Really?
See, I thought it'd be reverse. I thought the thigh
very front of the shin. Yeah.
Yeah. You're talking like calf.
I'm talking like.
If you got a nice meaty calf, a nice meaty calf.
Some beef back there.
Yeah, a little meat back there. I'm sure it's not bad. I'm figuring out how to get my tattoo, and I'm not going to take the medicine to knock me out.
Nice.
No,
I'm going to be awake.
I believe it for sure.
What if I fall asleep, though, because it's so hypnotic, mesmerized?
That's possible. That does happen.
All right, so maybe I fall asleep.
By accident, not on purpose.
No, I'm not going to get any medicine to do that.
Never happened to me, but they do say that happens, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to happen to me, I think. 7-8 hours. All right, hour 2 is on the other side. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Cheers. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the commissioner of the NFL. Don't listen to them. No. Roger, shut your mouth. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us. You're our commissioner. Don't worry about these bums. From us to you, we'd like to give you a gift that we know you're a big fan of. Ladies and gentlemen, some peanut M&Ms for our commission.
This is why we're on set?
Yep, you can take these with you. You can take them home.
I might just I got a gift for you.
What?
Oh. You ready?
Yeah, I like that.
With the 222nd pick in the 2009 NFL Draft.
Oh, yeah.
The Indianapolis Colts select Pat McAfee. Hunter, West Virginia.
Hell yeah!
Come on here, baby.
Good pick! Good pick!
I'll pick him up.
Thank you, Raj. I'm not going to pick you up because you got that
That's
back.
all right.
Yeah.
I got it. There's your card, baby. That's real.
That's awesome.
I've been keeping that for, 15 years?
You had it in your back pocket this whole time. This is cool. Thank you for this. So whenever we say that you have to answer to 31 billionaires, how accurate is that?
32. Well, you're not counting Green Bay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Doesn't count.
Big Pop. There's a Green Bay Packers.
I didn't know he did.
Yeah, no, that was.
I don't actually think that way. I actually think I answer to them. I think I answer to the media partners. I think I answer to the players. I think I answer to the owners, too. The idea for me is to try to keep everyone happy. I always say that my biggest job is not to piss off more than 24 owners in a given day.
How did you know the draft would be awesome if you traveled it, and did you see this happening?
I'd be kidding you if I thought it was going to be as big as it is. We felt like we could be bigger than we were in Radio City. But what happened is Radio City actually put a holiday show in and said, you can't have the draft until June. And that's when we said, we're out of here.
So they kicked you out.
That's when we went on the road.
Well, Taylor Swift, we know.
Well, that's a different kind of influence.
How about, hey, listen, a lot of jokes from
They're booing Taylor Swift.
Yeah, you can't boo.
There it is.
Yeah, you're going to be a part of an album.
Wow.
Do it. Get a little louder. She is going to cook you. A lot of the internet was saying Roger Goodell was sitting at home through the moon about this.
Well, they thought it was part of the script.
Yes, then you went to her. There
Yeah,
it is. Is there a thought of adding another one, maybe adding another bye week, or are we good at 17 right now?
Well, I think we're good at 17 now, but listen, we're looking at how we continue. I'm not a fan of the preseason. I don't think we need preseason.
Waste of time, right, and energy.
I don't buy it, and I don't think these guys like it either.
Well, they have to spend full price for the tickets for those games.
No, they're actually discounted now. So
Thank you for doing that.
I'd rather replace a preseason game with a regular season any day. That's just picking quality, right? If we got to 18-2, that's not an unreasonable thing. The other thing it does, which I thought you were going to, is that ends up on President's Day weekend, which is a 3-day weekend, which makes a Sunday night, and then you have Monday off. So that's
wow.
Now we're cooking.
See,
now we're cooking.
Can you talk to the president about having the Monday after the Super Bowl?
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey. Why? Let's go! This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
Ah! The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Sport! Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this magical overreaction Monday, June 17th, 2024. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Sports are amazing. They're awesome. They're fantastic. They're the greatest things on earth, and we're lucky to talk about them every single day. I am not alone. No. I got a great cast of characters surrounding me. The Toxic Table is here. At Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. 9-year NFL vet and live golf superfan.
Yeah.
There we go. That's
Coach.
fair.
The last man to golf with Bryson DeChambeau before he won the U.S. Open, Darius J. Butler.
Attaboy, D-Bud.
Joining us now live from Manhattan, Ohio, is a man who's a college football national champion and Super Bowl champion. He was the president of Ohio, but he is still the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, A.J. Hawk.
Yeah, Hawker.
Oh, haircut, looking sharp.
Wow.
Wow.
Hey, congrats, D-Butt, on getting Bryson, kind of pushing him over the edge, to get him to where he is today.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate that, AJ.
Take a bow.
Means a lot coming from you, man.
What you tell him? Do you tell him to, interact with the crowd a little bit, make this thing a show? People want to come to the Bryson DeChambeau show.
Yeah,
Is that what you were saying to him?
Stay dialed in with the crowd. Obviously stay dialed in with your driver as well, which he didn't do well.
5 of 15 fairways in the final round.
Yeah,
so good bounces out there, though. You taught him that.
What's that?
D-Butt is a Rory McIlroy fan.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Diggs is a Rory McIlroy fan.
And Bryson.
You are a DeChambeau, but you did have to pick sides. And I saw it on your X.
I did.
I saw it on your Twitter. Yep. And immediately upon seeing you say, you know what, I want to see Rory win this thing, I thought to myself, why? Don't we want to see DeChambeau do it? I mean, this is what we want to see. But I think it's because we all felt the weight of the world on Rory McIlroy's shoulders.
Legitimately.
Yes. I think we all felt it. He's placed the PGA on his back through this live battle for a while. And then there was conversations of whether or not he was going to take a live deal. And then behind the scenes, he's epic and hilarious on Full Swing. Hasn't been able to win, though, since he had the long hair. And he's got, the little baby boy face. Had a divorce. Didn't finish the divorce. Now he's back being married. Now he's on a run playing better than anybody on a Sunday. And then he gets that 2-foot 6-inch putt on 16. And AJ, you and I have obviously played in Tahoe at the American Century Championship. You much more than I. I have stood over a couple putts that mean absolutely nothing to my legacy, worth $0, but there is 14 to 15 people watching, and I'm on the nicest course I've ever played, and I'm thinking to myself, there's no way in hell this ball's going in. And somehow Rory got that into his head, I think, 16, and on 18, that son of a bitch came back, AJ. We've all been there, nowhere near the stakes that this was, but Rory losing, heartbreaker, AJ Hawk.
I mean, you have to feel for the dude. And I don't know if you guys watched any of the post-round coverage. They kept talking about this last putt, and the one guy kept saying, "Oh, this is a good putt. It was just a bad read." And they kept making a big deal about it. I'm like, who cares? He missed the thing, whether it's a bad read or a bad putt. The thing didn't go in, obviously. I don't, and believe me,
what if he misses this one right here?
That's what I'm saying. This is not a gimme at all. Nothing is a gimme. Even a 6-inch punt, I feel like in this moment is not a gimme.
Yeah, and that one started drifting a little bit right.
Almost pushed through.
Bryson had missed one too. He had 3-putted. What was that? 16 or 17?
Yeah, that was when Rory went up 2.
2-stroke swing there. Yeah. 4-stroke swing.
When Bryson missed his shorty, and then Rory birdied, and then Bryson decided he was going to drive the green on whatever hole that was, and then made it a birdie there. That's when Bryson really got back into it.
Congrats to Bryson DeChambeau. He'll be joining us in about 35 minutes. I guess he's been on quite a run. He had media this morning and some other stuff. I think he's taking a nap and then waking up for our show. Is what we were told. So might be a little groggy depending upon how last night went. But that man took over the entire sports world yesterday with his moxie, with his scrambling. I mean, he looked like he was one of us out there, just about 50 yards, 70 yards further, and then his second shot being so much better than us. But the way he went about winning it was obviously stressful. He seemed to be cool the entire time. He played to the crowd. He generated emotion. I mean, it was a fantastic display of golf yesterday. The U.S. Open delivered.
And it's kind of awesome that the LIV guys winning, right? We kind of need the LIV guys to perform better than the PGA guys, because hopefully then the PGA does make okay, we no longer have all the best guys in the world. They're going to have Scotty forever, so no matter what, that doesn't really matter. But as long as the Brookses and the Brysons continue to show up and be in those final
Rahm needs to get there too with his injuries.
Yeah, calm.
Your first point there about the PGA and LIV and PGA getting something done, it's I understand why the golf purists got so mad about this LIV deal.
For sure.
Because every major when these guys are playing with each other.
That's why we watch.
Great.
Scotty Scheffler, this is why the Team USA thing, and we'll bring it up to DeChambeau in 34 minutes or so. Do you care about not being on the Olympics? Because I'm pissed about it. The world golf rankings deciding that 52 holes or 54 holes, whatever it is, can't be enough for us to properly judge and yada, yada, yada. It's okay. That's the world golf rankings. That's them. Team USA can still say, nah, but the hottest golfer we got right now is this one right here. And we know that is the case. And he's still top 10 without us judging all of the tournaments he plays all year, except for 5 of them. It's if Team USA was to make that decision, we'd be pumped about it. But I wonder if Bryson even thinks about it. He knew the decision he made whenever he went to LIV that he'd be off the world golf rankings. But who gives a shit what the world golf rankings have to say if you're Team USA. That's my big thing. And I understand, well, this is the procedure that we've used since golf was put into the Olympics. It's like, well, you could change because it's only been in the Olympics one time.
Yeah.
Like, you could certainly change this to put the best team out there, because Scotty Scheffler and DeChambeau battling for an Olympic gold. I mean, that would be so sweet. That'd be so sweet. And when you think about Scotty Scheffler, he had the worst weekend of anybody.
Yeah.
He could have had a weekend off,
Yep.
which would have been amazing. You know, he hasn't really. He's been in jail a couple weeks ago, winning every single. Has a baby. This entire thing. He gets +5. That becomes the cut line.
Yeah.
So he has to stay for the entire week. Can't withdraw. Your number one golfer in the world. That's not Scotty Scheffler golf. But if he misses the cut by one, he has more 2 days at home.
Oh, yeah.
The entire situation. Instead, he's irrelevant at a tournament that's one of the majors and doesn't get any off time. But we need them to be golfing more often together because it's beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. And with Bryson, like, he seems like one of those guys. I think, like, last Olympics, a lot of the guys scoffed at it. It's like, well, who gives a shit? You know, like, Olympic golf is kind of a new thing. Like, obviously, winning a gold medal would be cool, but he seems like the kind of guy who, like Xander, like, you know, was, you know, he's like, hey, that's like a defining moment of my career. Obviously, like, I really
want Olympic gold medal.
Exactly. But like, a lot of guys didn't even want to go down to Brazil to play because it was like, whatever, you know, like, I'm not winning any money. It was kind of Mickey Mouse. But with Bryson too, like, I think going to live is part of the reason he's had this massive babyface turn, because he's obviously matured and gotten older and kind of been able to poke fun at himself. But like, he was so overexposed. You saw him every week, and you'd see his antics, and I think people were like, all right, enough of this asshole. We're always hearing all this stuff. And now he pops back in, you know, at majors pretty much, and he's almost winning, and he's fun to watch. So it's like, I think he's benefited moving over, and like, not even necessarily from the golf, but I think if he would have stayed on the PGA, like, I think the sentiment of how he was viewed 3 years ago would be the same.
Well, and his YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
His
Being
YouTube
able
is
to do that.
His YouTube is awesome. It's good content. And, you know, definitely maturing and changing as you grow and evolving. But I think he just started owning who he is.
For sure.
Like, instead of like trying to be like fake tough guy.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd, dude.
He's been authentic from day one, doesn't it? It feels like a dude that, like, the whole crazy roller coaster that has been Bryson's whole, like, his fame and what he's been doing on the course. Like, I feel like a dude just been super authentic the whole time. Now, I don't know. He could be fooling everybody. That'd be a heck of an acting job. I don't believe that's the case. But, yeah, like a dude that just been him from day one. He's kind of grown and progressed and gotten older and matured, and we get to watch it. Man, what a I don't know how he can ever top this.
And I never see winners sticking around. It's always like ceremony, and then let's get the hell out of here. He was like, man, I don't want this night to end.
They're like,
you know?
He stuck around too when Xander won. You know, stuck around. Obviously, you need to stick around for a potential playoff, but stuck around, shook his hand. But kind of going back to that team aspect thing, that was one of the things I asked him in Houston. I'm like, how quick did it take you to get used to like the team golf thing? Because that's what a lot of people are against. He was like, oh, immediately. He was like, you know, I played on a team in college, obviously Ryder Cup, President's Cup, so he loves that type of atmosphere. So I don't know how they can make it happen. I'm sure this whole grading system and shit will have to change at some point, I think, in the future with how the game of golf is evolving. But I would definitely love him and Scotty on the same team, because they seem like obviously two great golfers, but
polar opposite.
Completely opposite. Like, Scotty's super stoic. DeChambeau's in there, you know, at the tee box having conversations with fans, signing autographs on the way, you know, in one of the biggest moments of his life. So I would love to see it, but I do love seeing, you know, just the game overall just growing.
And Bryson DeChambeau is like this with everything.
Yeah.
Like everything. And he goes back and up. And then Scotty Scheffler is swinging out of his shoes.
Yes.
His entire golf game is like, I'm going to rip the shit out of this.
Yeah.
Where DeChambeau is like, I need to go about 74% with this particular club at this percent increase or decrease on the downhill. And Scotty Scheffler is seemingly just wheeling and dealing out there. And then the personalities don't match.
No.
No.
It's the opposite.
Right.
They don't match the, you know, it's
crazy.
like, they are awesome. And like, Bryson just being like, what is seemingly like a representative of golf is what he felt like.
Bingo.
Whenever he's doing the YouTube content and then talking to the fans and hitting shot, and then like whenever you go out and play with him, you talk about Phil Mickelson coaching. It felt like DeChambeau was doing the same exact thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like he wants to represent
Loves golf.
his golf style as well.
I read a golf writer last night who's been following Bryson. He said for a long time, I wish I gave him credit. I can't remember what his name was. But he said back when people didn't like Bryson, it was because he just didn't understand what it meant to be like the face of golf and be so famous. And now it seems like he understands that more than anyone on the tour. Like, he understands what his job is as a face of golf and what he's supposed to be as someone who's that famous. But for the the last Olympics, he was actually super bummed out because he was supposed to be on the Olympics team, got COVID, couldn't go, gave an interview about how bummed out he was because he wanted to represent his country and stuff like that.
Bummed out.
Yeah.
We'll talk to him in about a half hour or so. Can't wait to get his take. We have some breaking news out of the NFL. NFL Films has announced, in partnership with Mox, that Hard Knocks in season will be the entire AFC North.
Wow.
The entire thing.
I love that.
Gotta love it, yeah.
I love that.
Okay, so this is hilarious to think about because, I would assume each episode is going to sample from every single team. So the NFL Films people probably went back to the drawing board and said, one team gets a bit redundant. If we could have multiple options, multiple storylines, we can kind of cover through this entire thing. It'll make the hour pass much more seamlessly, seemingly, throughout the year. I love it. But also, you normally get no teams that want to do it.
Yeah, bingo.
And it was tough to find one team that's doing it. And now the NFL and NFL Films are like, funny thing about that is fucking 4 of you are doing that now. I think this will be good for the show. I think it'll reinvent the show. I think we'll all enjoy the hell out of it. But there's certainly some teams going, I thought we were getting rid of this thing, and now we got more than ever before, and I guess it'll just bounce division to division, AJ, is probably the assumption here.
Well, did the NFL, did they force this on any of the teams? Could the team say no? Was it even possible? I know they have for the regular Hard Knocks that they do before the season in camp, there's all the guidelines of which teams are available. But with this, did they just force it on and say, hey, good luck, doesn't matter, the whole division's doing it?
I think so. And that seems to be and this is great news for the show.
It's great for everybody. I think it's great for any football fan. Even if you're not a football fan, if you're a casual, it'll be cool to see all the behind-the-scenes stuff in season. That's what's awesome about this.
And for the youngs, maybe, that don't remember, that Hard Knocks basically started all the content that you see from NFL teams on social media. Hard Knocks was that before social media was really as prevalent in every single NFL building. You're getting a chance to see how actual NFL teams operate during the most important time of the year, which is training camp, for cuts, for workouts, for practices, for team meetings, for coaches meetings. I mean, it was like a never before seen anything. And now with social media and every team kind of doing it, I don't want to say it dilutes it, but it does kind of desensitize the product, because we see that type of shit every day with one particular scroll. With 4 teams, though, bouncing around, it's like here, the storylines in Pittsburgh, huge. Storylines in Cincinnati, huge, especially with T. Higgins signing the franchise tag. That a baby Bengals. He assumes, I think everybody assumes it's going to be his last year there, but his mom sent out a tweet, she's pumped that he's back. I mean, we are all excited for that. You go to the Browns, storylines, never, ever end. And then the Ravens, Chaw Dog, Lamar Jackson, and that team about to go on another run. I mean, it's like perfect division for the perfect show at the perfect time. I'm very excited
for Hard Knocks. It makes a ton of sense. 3 of those teams made the playoffs last year, so it's not like when you're rolling the dice. What they've done midseason with the show so far is where these teams could be out of it and nobody cares about it anymore.
Exactly.
3 of these teams made the playoffs, and I assume 2 of them are probably going to make the playoffs again this year. So you at least those later weeks in the season and into the playoffs. I mean, the Ravens made the AFC Championship. You're always going to have something interesting. You're not going to lose the luster that you have the last few seasons when these teams don't make the playoffs or they're out of contention.
I wonder if Roger Goodell will bring this up in court today. Now everybody has Max. They got to pay for Hard Knocks. What do you want?
He should give it to him for free.
What do you want me to do? Yeah, we'll put on our YouTube.
Trying to make money, or
we'll put everything on our YouTube. That's
starting in December too. That's great. Like you said, all these teams will be in the thick of. You got 3 of the highest paid quarterbacks right now in the league, and then obviously what's going on in Pittsburgh, which is obviously franchise. You obviously always got to talk about defenses, team like. It's great that they started with this division. This is like the toughest division. December football. Like,
the amount of historic pieces that are going to come out. Because Tomlin, they're going to have Tomlin mic'd up talking about AFC North football. Because there's going to be some divisional game late. Probably Baltimore.
All of their division games are late.
So it's going to be a Baltimore game where Tomlin in the team meeting is going to go through the history of the rivalry and the history of the AFC North. And they're going to be able to match it up. And every kid that grew up in any of these cities is going to just be like, oh, well, that's my childhood. That is congrats, NFL Films. Feels like this is going to be a winner. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a man who is obviously a massive brain, an incredible personality, and this past weekend was boozing with Mark Messier in Edmonton. Ladies and gentlemen, NHL vet, ESPN analyst, PK Subban.
Yay!
Well, you guys are boozing, huh? I saw you there with RA and the boys. Did you meet Biz? Did you get to have a beer with Biz? How'd that go? And was Edmonton fantastic? It seemed like a great time.
Yeah, met everybody. I felt like everybody in the hockey circle was in Edmonton over the past couple days. And first of all, before I get to Biz and the whole crew and everybody, Edmonton did a phenomenal job. Those 3-4 days we were there, the food, the fans, they deserved that win. And I found myself with every day that I was there actually cheering for the Oilers. I wanted to see them win. I mean, it was hard to not want to see them have success. So big game tomorrow. But I did see Biz, saw the whole crew. It was hilarious. All the stuff on the Jumbotron. Mark Messier is an absolute, he's a god. It's not even, I don't even know if that justifies what he is in Edmonton and in the game of hockey. But I've never seen anything like that before in my life. The way that he was treated, the way that we were treated because of him was spectacular. So hats off to the Messiah. He's the man. 5 cups in Edmonton. More Mark Messier jerseys than probably McDavid jerseys in Edmonton. Mess is the man.
Yeah, Mark Messier won Stanley Cup in Edmonton post Wayne Gretzky being there as well. So obviously will live on forever as a hero in Edmonton. And he'll be on our show tomorrow. The Messiah will be on the show tomorrow, obviously. Day of the game. Let's talk about it. You said you were finding yourself rooting for Edmonton because the people of Edmonton were so spectacular to you. And I find myself doing that with game day. When I go to a town, I'm like, I'm picking against this stupid team. I'm doing it. And then I get out and about and I meet the people and the coaching staff. I'm like, these people are way too nice.
Win this weekend.
These people are way too nice to me. I appreciate the hell out of them. So I appreciate you doing that. But also, as a sports fan, none of us were hoping or wishing for a sweep, except for Florida Panthers fans. Obviously, they win 8-1. Is that a sign of things to come? Did the Florida Panthers just kind of mail it in towards the end of this? And what are your thoughts on the momentum of the series now as it heads back to Sunrise, PK?
Well, there's definitely life in the Edmonton Oilers. And if you were in Edmonton for both games 3 and 4, especially game 4, I don't think I've ever heard a building that loud. The energy in the building was contagious. They fed off of it. I think the scary part for the Florida Panthers about that game was, obviously everyone's going to question Bobrovsky, which I'm not going to question. I don't think it's going to be an issue for him. I think he's going to come back and be phenomenal in the next game. I really do. He's too good of a goaltender, too good of a player. He's been too calm, too even-keeled throughout his career. He's always bounced back. But if I'm the Florida Panthers, what I'd be nervous about is how many players got in on the action in that game. I mean, all of Edmonton's depth were involved. From Holloway with 3 points. Obviously, McDavid had 4 points, but Holloway, Janmark, Connor Brown was phenomenal on the penalty kill. All their depth players chipped in with goals. All their depth players got involved. So they got a very, very confident team coming into Sunrise and to play this game right now. So they got to be a little bit nervous about that because the Edmonton Oilers from top to bottom right now have their whole team going on. And to think about it, Connor McDavid at 4 points. He's just getting warmed up, I feel like, in this series. So for the Florida Panthers, they got to find their game and find their game very, very quickly, especially 5-on-5. They cannot allow the Edmonton Oilers to attack through the middle of the ice and have this much time and space. And if they do that, that McJesus guy is going to take over this series, and anything's up for grabs. In my opinion, this could still go 6 or 7, right? I had Florida winning this in 6.
Okay, go ahead, AJ.
PK, is there anything you could do to slow McDavid down? Because obviously we see all the points he's scoring, the assist, the goal. But when I sit there and watch as a casual fan that doesn't know a ton about hockey, the dude seems to facilitate all his teammates very well at the same time to where he's very patient. He's dumping it off. He's looking for the open shot. He's not just being a selfish player. Can you talk about that and how much this guy actually means to the team and the league?
Well, he's got so many tricks in his bag, you don't know which one he's going to use, right? So you can't take away all of his options. Your first instinct is to contain him. And when you contain him, that means you're giving him time and space. You give the best players or the greatest player in the game right now time and space, he's going to make you pay. And especially if Bobrovsky's not on his game, he becomes that much more scary. So he's finally found the back of the net. He's finding his teammates. But more importantly for me, for Florida, they have to get back to controlling the middle of the ice. You let Connor McDavid penetrate through the neutral zone and get the middle of the ice.
He'll penetrate.
Forget about it.
How do you do that, though?
Forget about it. Exactly.
Well, you can't let him penetrate it, AJ.
How? How do I not let him penetrate?
Exactly. You got to clog up the middle. You got to clog that. There's gaps in the ice. You got to clog it up. All right.
Gaps.
Let's get back to hockey here. So what I was saying,
Jam it in there.
you got to take away.
That's clogged.
Jeez. You got to take
Clog it up.
Clog it up.
From the inside out.
Nope.
That's what you got to do. Especially when you got McDavid.
gotta-
He's quick.
Yeah, he clogs
Like a
fast.
rabbit in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hard to clog him. Can't get your hands
Yeah,
on
he's
him.
not clogged up. He's not clogged up.
You got to make sure you
You got to take away the middle of the ice. They got to get back to their 5-on-5 systems. They were way too loose. Edmonton was just rolling on them. Edmonton, when they play with speed, that's their game. They're the faster team than Florida. They got to play fast. When they play fast, Florida can't skate with them. When Florida can't slow the game down and take away the middle of the ice, it's all Edmonton. And I'm going to tell you, Edmonton's only going to get better if that neutral zone opens up. So for Florida, they got to get on the body. They got to get their forecheck going. They have to make Edmonton play defense. Keep them in their zone. For most of the series, Edmonton's had problems coming out of their zone. They have to attack those guys, the CCs. They got to stay physical on Darnell Nurse. Stay physical on Broberg. Stay physical on Bouchard. You can't allow those guys to break out easy out of their zone. Now they get up the ice, and you saw what Darnell Nurse did on the 5th goal that, in my opinion, put the game away. Puts it in the back of the net. He's up the ice. You got to take away Edmonton's speed, especially out of their breakouts.
Go ahead, D-Butch.
Yeah, I kind of missed some of this game. I had a championship game of my own going on.
How'd you do?
We won.
Hey!
Ex-Athletics champions, Cobras, 11-0 season. But
Cobras, did you guys do?
No. We did. We did
Dodgeball.
not. We did not. But next season, we'll definitely get back to the point.
Yesterday's price is not today's price. Remember that. Now you're a champion. You hit, 5 straight threes at one point?
I did.
Okay.
Good Lord.
Okay.
Journalism here.
Allegedly.
But
No, definitely, right? That's not alleged. We're not just talking.
No, that's for sure.
It's on the film.
5 in a row. It's on the film. I got the tape.
It's on the film.
I can't wait to see the absolute
I got the tape.
ether highlight reel coming of D-Butch in the championship.
Didn't touch the rim.
Ain't Jay Tatum's?
No Jay Tatum. I stay out of the paint.
Smart
Tonight,
man.
though, buckle up for that tonight. You'll be seeing that tonight.
Yes, we will. But game.
Lot of that.
Maybe. Lost by 38. There was not a lot. It was Luka.
Come on, guys. Come on.
Tell him, PK. Tell him, PK.
Guys, it's over tonight. It's over tonight. Come on.
But on that note, I've seen
Tatum's MVP. Tatum will be MVP.
We'll see. Hey, we'll see.
Tatum.
We'll see. But Boston got that ass whooped, as did the Panthers. So obviously, me, Pat, AJ, we've all been a part of some ass kickings in the NFL. And sometimes you watch tape, and sometimes coach just comes in there like, "Hey, let's just bury that ball, not even talk about it, act like it never happened." Is that the situation you think for the Panthers? They just move on, get back to home ice, take care of business, or do you kind of go over and over with that film to see like all those points you were talking about, slowing these guys down, getting physical, clogging it up? Which direction you think Paul Maurice and the Panthers go?
Well, I think you'd be clinically insane to think that hockey players are going to play the perfect game for 2 months. I mean, you're playing against the best players and best teams in the National Hockey League every single night in the playoffs. So you're not going to always play your best game. Things are going to happen. Edmonton's a really good team with great players. So, that was their game. They had to win. It was a must win. They're playing for their lives. And, Florida started the game late. You can't start any games late at this time of the year, not in the Stanley Cup final. You give teams life. So for Florida, they have to take advantage of home ice. They have to get back to their game plan. They have to take that and toss it right in the trash. There's I wouldn't be spending any time on that. I'd be shocked if they watched any clips from that game. I really would be. Knowing Paul Maurice, I'm sure he might talk about a few things that they're going to do schematically. But other than that, it's guys, turn the page. We have a Stanley Cup to win. We have an opportunity to do it on home ice. First one in 30 years in the existence of the franchise. That's what I'd be looking at. Let's get it done.
And on that note, go ahead, Conman.
Yeah, PK, because of that, is there a thought within the Panthers locker room like, hey, we do not want to have to travel 8 hours back to Edmonton? Like, we need to put this together here because that flight is such a nightmare? Or is that something that isn't even brought up?
Oh, you don't have any time to think about that. I mean, winning the Stanley Cup is never easy.
You got 8 hours to think about it.
It's like get on the plane, get your rest, and get ready for this. When you win it, you're not going to think about how many flights it took. You're not going to care. You know, I mean, listen, Last Dance with Michael Jordan. Remember, I'm bringing one suit. We're going there to win a game. It's that same mentality. It's the next game. That's it. That's all. There's nothing to think about. I mean, you get to win the Stanley Cup on home ice in front of your own fans. That's what I'd be thinking about right now, not the flight. That flight would be the shortest flight ever coming home.
Right in front of those loyal, diehard Florida Panther fans.
Damn right. Let's go Cats.
Go Cats. That's it. You get it. You need to do that on with the Messiah.
Yeah. They didn't want to celebrate in Edmonton. I mean, come on, let's be honest.
Yeah, right. I heard Edmonton's a great time. All the videos I've seen.
I don't know about that. They flew all their family. I heard their whole family, everybody flew in for that. So I don't know about that. Their families, wives, girlfriends, mothers, dads, all witnessed them, take us back in 8-1. I don't know about that. I think they wanted to win in front.
Oh, so they were ready to Jay Tate in Edmonton all night with Lordo. Family was there and everything.
Well, I'll tell you this, Pat. Win or lose, we were doing that. We were hitting the booze. So win or lose,
way to go.
We were
just like
getting after it.
Way to go. A little bit of a runaway. A little bit of a gong show. Are you in a robe right now?
I am in a robe right now. Okay. I'm extremely comfortable. It's spa day, recovery day, just a reset day for me.
Every day is spa day, right?
Every day.
Yeah.
Correct. That's correct.
So have you done? Okay. So when did you travel? And what are you in Florida now?
Yeah, we're in Florida now. We got in yesterday. We jumped on the charter with the NHL guys.
Where are we sitting? We're sitting coach. You're sitting coach?
No, I was sitting directly behind Mess and Leaves and specifically waited until they fell asleep to get a selfie of them when they were passed out. It was a great one.
Smart.
I'm going to get it framed. I'm going to have it in my basement, in my man cave. And I already posted it. You look on my social media, it's right there. The
already exposed the Messiah.
Yep. Completely exposed.
And Steve Levy as well. Exposed. He thought he was safe. Take a little snooze. Yep. Nope. Wrong.
I got you.
Okay. So
wrong guy.
How many hours were you? There he is.
That's not.
There it is. Isn't that great? Look at that. How cute is that?
Can we zoom in on that photo?
Look. Can we zoom in? Look, Mess looks serious even when he's sleeping.
Yeah, check and see if he's alive.
We're a little bit too
up
and down for an 8-hour flight in my eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
okay. Well, hold on. I can't leave him completely out to dry because I was sleeping too, and I just happened to wake up a little bit before they did, and I got the flight attendant to snap that picture. So
AQ ship.
A lot of assholes with their windows open when people are trying to sleep.
Even the guy who's
that's
assed out has his window open. Look at that thing shining off his head.
The hell?
And is that the back of the plane or the front of the plane there?
Get that plane
together, the back of the plane. That's the back of the plane. So Mess and Leaves got the most leg room out of anybody. They got the emergency exit seats?
Exit row.
So they got, and they got the exit seats with all the snack trays and all of that.
As they should.
As
they should.
Oh, yeah. And Levy puts his seat back like all the way, so I can't even put my laptop. I can't watch any shows.
Yeah.
Like I'm basically like this.
8 hours, PK. 8 hours. That's a long ass time.
Yeah.
All right, we appreciate you sacrificing in the sky for all of us and covering it all. What's going on?
Look at that. You see the hat that Messier has on?
Elbow room.
Elbow room.
That's an elbow room spotting. That's an elbow room spotting right there. He knows.
What a legend. He knows what a celebration.
Hey, Moose. We love you, Moose.
Hey, Pat. He really is a legend, though. He's the best. I don't know. I've had so much fun doing this job, hanging with him, and Leaves, going to dinner every night and just talking hockey with these guys. Mess is hilarious.
Yes.
Unbelievable. I wish I would have played in the 80s. Honestly.
Well,
I wish I would have played in the 80s with those guys.
PK, hold
I would
on.
trade it any day.
Okay, well,
any day.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe. All right. Hey, we appreciate the hell out of you. We don't know in the 80s what things would have been said, in the hockey community, but we know that you would have been good in any decade, any generation, because your moxie is flawless and your coverage of hockey this postseason with the NHL has been amazing. We appreciate the hell out of you. Good luck with the rest of your spa day, PK.
Thanks, gents. I'm hitting the beach now. I'm going to get a crazy tan. I'll be crispy tomorrow on the air, so look out for that.
What color suit we got tomorrow? What color suit we got?
It's going to be sort of a minty green. I'm going with a summery vibe, minty green, white shirt, white pants, and then you have to check out the shoes. We'll be standing tomorrow. We won't be sitting, so you'll be able to get a shot.
Thank God. Thank God. All right, ladies and gentlemen, PK Subban.
Glad you played when you did, PK.
Yeah.
Oh,
I say PK. I don't think
the 80s.
What do you mean?
He thought those
He'd be
Bruins
fine.
Canadians games were loud when he was there in 2010.
Jeez Louise. Couldn't even imagine. All right, a lot of stuff happening around sport. Obviously, the NHL is Game 5 of the NHL Finals tomorrow. The Game 5 of the NBA Finals will tip off this evening at 8:30 on ABC. We cannot wait for that. There's a lot of stuff happening around the NFL. There's some drama, actually.
What?
Yeah, we went to the TikTok, the platform that still exists.
Yep.
It has a shot clock on it, though. Has a shot clock on it. I think it's down to like 6 months. It has to be sold from the company that owns it to an American company, or I think any country's company other than China. I think, not 100% sure.
Yeah, that plays.
And TikTok will exist. It still exists right now. And Brandon Ayuk, wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers, is currently blogging his entire situation with contract, free agency, franchise tag. The Niners have another wide receiver they drafted in the first round out of Florida. Who's going to get left out? Who's going to get paid? He's been blogging it all. In the latest clip that we have seen, I mean, this is a big one. Run it, Foxy!
Bro, look in the cam, bro. Look at the cam.
What's good? He got me vlogging this shit.
Okay, so we're vlogging the whole thing.
What happened, bro? They said they don't want me back. I swear.
Okay, so that's the clip that we saw, and that's Jaden Daniels, new quarterback for the Washington Commanders, who was obviously drafted in the first round to go be the quarterback of this next generation of the Commanders team. He, as a freshman quarterback at Arizona State, connected greatly with Ayuk as a senior wide receiver at Arizona State. The relationship has obviously been closely monitored throughout this entire process, with Jaden Daniels at one point even saying he knew where he was headed in the draft. They have $45 million in cap space over there at the Washington Commanders. Is this video that I just watched on TikTok from Brandon Ayuk's blogging of the entire thing telling me that he's going to the Commanders, AJ? That's what I took? Congrats to the Commanders getting Brandon Ayuk is how I took that video right there.
Yeah, I guess there could be something to that, but I mean, it's a bit surprising to hear him say the Niners didn't want him. Like, there's no way they didn't want him, but they just don't want to offer him what he feels like he deserves. Is that what it is? It's got to be the only thing.
Did his agent tell him that they said they don't want him back? Did the offer that they made him tell him that they didn't want him back? Is the entire thought of drafting another wide receiver, not getting his deal done, telling him that they don't want him back?
Giving McCaffrey more money.
Sure.
Redoing his contract to give him more money in this entire thing. Yeah. They have Brock Purdy on the lowest rookie salary possible for another 2 years. So are they giving money elsewhere? It's a wild video clip that we see there. And does Jaden Daniels have enough pull as a rookie quarterback in Washington to say, all right, you guys heard it. Get me Ayuk over here. Is that what's taking place in the video? It seems like that's what I just saw.
I don't know, but I would love it. I would love Ayuk going over there, get paired up with Terry McLaurin, give Jaden Daniels. It'll be similar to what's going on in Chicago, putting all those weapons around Caleb to be successful early. It makes sense, from a game. You're obviously going to be locked into that Daniels contract for the next few years of the rookie deal. Bring a talent like this over. And all those things you mentioned, you get to this point in the league, you kind of start reading that writing on the wall. You're drafting this guy, you're paying that guy, and then maybe he did have a direct conversation with the team, just saying, hey, you know what? He just probably doesn't fit into our future plans. But I am surprised that he let this clip out at this point. I feel like this is probably something that you put out after the fact. But it's a new day and age.
Yeah, it might be leverage trying to be gained by Ayuk to let the entire world know, like, hey, I am very available if you want to make a play. Or maybe they're talking about a friend group in town.
True. Sure.
That's possible.
And
Jaden Daniels was like, thank God I knew this other group was this mucky duck group is the right group out of San Francisco as opposed to the one. But all indications is Ayuk isn't happy in San Fran. And now seemingly San Fran isn't happy with Ayuk.
in San Fran. This is wild. And can he come to the Colts, I guess? Is that just something?
What would have to happen? What's a team have to do to try to get Ayuk? What would they have to do?
He would have to sign franchise tag, and then they would have to trade. But then there would also have to be a deal done and an exchange to the Niners of some sort because with the franchise tag, you owe them. Now, that is all negotiable because at one point we heard, well, it's going to take 2 ones if you want to trade a franchise tag player. So how much do you want somebody? And then we learned quickly, like, that's not real. That is a negotiable thing. There just says that there has to be something that has to take place.
Yeah, it's the same situation as L'Jarius Sneed, right? Where everyone thought that L'Jarius Sneed was going to get moved for a ton of stuff, and then it was a second and a fifth or a second and a fourth to go to Tennessee, and then immediately got his new deal. So you assume that would be the case, but it is going to be crazy when it comes through because if this is real, and even though it was reported that they offered him a contract of $26.5 million or whatever per year, and who knows the guarantees and all that, so I don't know if they don't want him per se,
low
but
ball.
maybe they told him that.
Is it though?
That's a low ball because he's a number one wideout. Even on that team, he's clear cut the number one.
Pittman
wide
got like what 23,
27 a year, and then everybody else, is 30 and up at this point. Amara. Everybody else that got paid. So I think now, depending on when they offer that, if it was before Pittman's deal, maybe not such a low ball offer. But once again, you kind of know what that market is. If you're a number one receiver, if you're a number one corner, and when this type of shit starts happening, now that price obviously drops. Now we know we don't have to give, just like with Snead. Yeah, he was probably the best corner in football wire to wire last year, but you knew the Chiefs, he weren't going to be in the financial plans going forward.
So if they is the Niners. They said they don't want me back. This is a pretty powerful statement.
It is.
It is, yes.
And the fact that it was just released because he is blogging that shit.
Right.
That is a message to, you block that shit. Okay, that is a message to every team. Like, hey, listen, come and get me. This is a situation. I'll be excited to see where he ends up. I mean, any team that gets Brandon Ayuk is going to be pumped at this point.
Yeah. New England.
There's any team
the Niners want him for 1 year. They want him for 1 year on the franchise tag. That's what they want him, right?
Bingo. But also, you can probably get something in return, and they probably feel as if they have a plethora of wide receivers. So if they said they don't want him back now, why would you say that before the year? I don't know.
Yeah.
That feels like a bet. Hey, Ayuk, we'll see you at training camp. Also, we don't want you here.
Yeah.
So you can come, obviously, because you're scheduled to fine, but also we don't want you. Like, that has to be an indicator that this thing is all but sailed down the river.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, we talked about this as guys started to get re-signed, or their deals got reworked. It's like, okay, that was the assumption on draft night when they draft a receiver, but then you pay Juwan Jennings, you redo McCaffrey's deal. It's like, okay, yeah, he's not in the plans going forward, because if they really did value him as a number one receiver, like, they would have gotten this done a while ago.
Phenomenal football player.
Yes.
Phenomenal football player. Any team that gets him, obviously, people understand that you're going to have to pay him. That means your salary cap still has money, which there's a lot of teams that still have some wiggle room. And if you pick up Brandon Ayuk, your fan base is going to be pumped. He knows that he's walking into a parade from somewhere, wherever he heads to. Good luck to all parties involved, including the Indianapolis Colts.
Come on, Patriots.
Come on.
Bring him in.
Jayden Daniel said it's a block, pretty much his response, that they're going to the Commanders. Maybe that's how they take it away. This weekend in football, congratulations to the Birmingham Stallions. Giddy up, Skip Holtz. The Birmingham Stallions win their third straight championship. They won the USFL, the USFL, and then they won the UFL. They are an absolute wagon down there, a dynasty of sorts that spans multiple leagues now. The big takeaway from the weekend, obviously, the Stallions tough to beat. Marquette King, I believe, did a halftime performance. Shout out to him. Kurt Warner played catch with his son. Kurt Warner also got the game ball from a robotic dog.
That was cool.
Which I don't love. I don't love. German Shepherd should have had that son of a bitch strapped to the back and ran that thing right out there. We don't need to be bringing out these little metal killers with 4 legs at this particular stage of life. That's 2027. 2028, we are still in the old school dog world, but that's not Kurt Warner's fault. He grabbed the ball perfectly. Wade Phillips, first time in a championship game as a head coach. San Antonio Brahmas, they would go on to lose in a 25-zip shutout, to the Stallions. But big story of the game, Tom Brady was there. Tom Brady awarded the MVP. He also was doing a sample test run for the upcoming NFL season in a booth that was not being televised. But he did make a stop in the booth with Joe Klott. And I'll tell you, I think we need to judge every word and sentence that he said to see how he's going to do this upcoming fall. Here's Tom Brady live from the booth at the UFL Championship.
bringing a little instant offense.
Handsome,
You know,
tall,
you love it.
looks
Tom
good.
Brady,
So tall.
legendary quarterback, just had his number
Hair looks
retired.
amazing.
I can't go down there on the field anymore. What are
You
you
can't
talking
play
about?
anymore.
Jokes!
He's joining us here at Fox Sports. I'm sure you have heard as an analyst this fall. Can't wait to see
Joel is
him.
not small.
So far, what are your impressions this early going? Championship game, sometimes
Siciliano.
teams can be a little bit tight. It looks like it may be right here.
They're all a little different.
Oh,
You
speak
get into
from
these
experience.
games, and there's a lot of defense out there right now.
Very
You see
calm.
defense can go out there and play with a lot of energy, but
There's a lot of
someone's
D.
got to get the ball down the field
That's
and try to
right.
open this
Addressing
field up a
both
little
of
bit. It's a
them.
lot of horizontal passes, and the defenses are swarming and trying to punch the ball out. So make them defend every blade of grass. That's what we say.
And as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to go to your play caller and you say, hey, give me something. You know, like let me go attack here on this series. Let's get a play flake going. Let's get a safety down and try to get this ball down the seam.
That was good work. Hey, had some jokes, personal experience, little film breakdown, judging the defense, how they could fix it. I mean, it had it all there
Yes,
Yeah.
it did.
in 40
fun.
seconds
Yeah,
with
good.
Tom Brady. And somebody mentioned in there, he was addressing both McAfee and Joel Klatt, who's an absolute legend in the booth. I think he was trying to prove himself to Joel Klatt, who has obviously been proven to be a fantastic color commentator for football games in the booth alongside Gus Johnson and everybody else. I think Tom Brady did a great job there. And to your point, he looked like he was 6'11".
He looked like an absolute giant in there. Yeah, that's going to be a thing. He and Burkhardt's big, though. Burkhardt will be his play-by-play guy. They'll look good in the booth together. But I thought he was calm. I thought it was great. But is there a more anticipated athlete to the booth than Tom Brady? Like, everybody is going to be judging everything this guy said.
We just broke down every word he said in a 40-second piece. That's going to happen for the first, 10 weeks of the NFL
I
season?
worry people aren't going to be nice either.
What? I think they are. I think he's going to be good. I think Tom Brady is going to be very good, just because how prepared he is, and also screw the preparation. Things are just going to pop up in a game that's going to spur him to. He might be a little bit long-winded. Like there might be a story that comes that isn't in the right place, like that type of stuff. But those things for the first couple of years, I think we'll be able to run off of, because we're going to learn. He's going to say, when we played some team, they tried to do this exact thing. The way to beat this is whenever you do this instead of this, and he'll start drawing it out there. And if a team doesn't do that, they're continuing to feed right into the hand. Like, this is exactly what this defense wants you to do. Like, I think we're going to have a good experience with Tom Brady, and obviously he's a good speaker. We know that from everything he has accomplished and done. It's like, I'm pumped for Tom to get in there. Don't think Greg Olsen deserves to be second fiddle anywhere.
Not at all.
That guy was unbelievable, but I think Tom's going to be great, AJ. I legitimately think that.
Yeah, he will. And I think it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the good thing. Like, just be authentic, be Tom. That's what we want to see. We want to know, like, what you're thinking when you watch a game. That's all we care about.
If he could have been a little more transparent about things being tight in championship games, though.
Yep.
Like, if he would have told a story about a teammate in the first championship game there, now you're like, now we're opening up. Now we're being a little bit more. But I think that is all going to come with time.
Saving it.
Yeah, exactly.
Saving that. Go.
Oh, yeah.
UFL
championship. But he'll be great. Like the situational stuff, pre-snap, like what we loved Romo for when he first got in the booth. Hey, we got single high here, probably going backside X. So like all that stuff, the situational football, what I love from Greg Olsen. Like I feel like that's my favorite part of him calling games, just situation, getting out of bounds, 2-minute drills. Can't wait to see all that from Tom. He'll be great.
And like what we know about what Belichick would take them through in meetings. Like he's going to know the tree of the defensive coordinator and where he comes from and why he's calling the defense his way. Like it is going to be unbelievable. I hope it's great.
Yeah, and Bill Belichick had a big weekend.
Yeah.
We learned a lot about Bill.
Yes, we did.
Good for you, Bill.
Never been prouder to have his
Salty
name
dog.
tattooed on this arm.
At least we got answers from that video.
Are you guys talking about
Allegedly.
he had an X
Yeah,
in
his
the
new X.
Instagram account?
Right. Yes.
That was him?
Yeah.
Allegedly. I don't know, which is fascinating because he should have social media. He should have his own accounts, I believe, personally. But the way that thing just showed up on the internet yesterday and then was just assumed to be Bill Belichick, it's like, great name, 8 rings.
Yeah, perfect.
Great. That's a great name if you want to flex it.
The header photo.
Belichick.com ing soon.
Yeah,
Bill
different colors.
Yeah, in different colors. I thought that was brilliant. I'm
Yeah,
like, that's
genius.
That'd be a Bill Belichick move. I think that would be pretty genius. But then that thing just disappeared, kind of.
Yeah, it was like weird. This morning when I went to click on it, it wouldn't load or anything of that nature. But I don't know. It felt as though because of the people that were already following him, a lot of beat writers in New England, that it was legit.
So
Not,
I don't know.
not sure.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows, but
you think Bill told the beat right? That's the
No way.
yeah, exactly. I have no idea. But like out of nowhere, just had 6,000 followers, and usually it takes a little while for people.
Well, that's because there was legit people saying it was
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
But like, are those legit people now?
Those legit people ask Bill, hey, is this you?
Like, did Field Yates come out and say, yup? I want to know Field Yates' opinion.
There you go.
Yeah.
That is literally because we learned that he knows Field Yates since Field Yates is born.
Yeah.
Been on this earth.
So if Field Yates was following that account, then I'll believe
Then
it.
we know.
That is how we know. All eyes are on Field Yates on whether or not Bill Belichick has social media, and Bill Belichick is in a new relationship, from what I've been told.
Yeah, apparently he's dating, some former cheerleader about 25 years old, just having the time of his life.
24, I believe, is
24,
the actual.
excuse me. I knew it was in that ballpark.
And it wasn't a Patriots cheerleader. She was a professional cheerleader.
Yeah, correct.
So
There's a difference.
25, he's like Leo. 25, too much.
it's a professional cheerleader. They compete against other professional cheerleader squads.
Yeah.
They can cheer for this thing, even if it's not a thing.
Exactly.
Better than you could cheer for your thing. That
Like that movie.
it's like a cheer. Like our team.
Like when Al Bundy's
It's
calling.
better than your team.
Like the high school cheerleading competition, she was doing that.
Those do exist.
Yeah,
and
fire
the Plum High School cheerleaders, I think, are
dominant.
We are the We're All Mustangs Here Fund has helped with the Plum Mustang cheerleaders a couple times go do battle in these cheerleader competitions. So I know a little bit about it. But then there's professionals. We're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
4 flips.
Oh, the flips and all that. Okay, cool.
Like if you saw, those bison they're trying to put up at the Buffalo Bills new stadium.
Those tiny ones, yeah.
16 feet high, yeah. There's some of these professional teams are like, our team is better than your team. They throw.
Yeah.
But they don't have a team.
These people, but it's the team.
Their team.
They are a team. But they're
Do you
not
hire them
cheering
for a
for
party
a
or
team.
something?
No, they're cheering for their team.
Their own team.
They're talking
Independent
shit for
contract?
their team. What's that?
You're saying bring it on?
Independent contract? I'm confused.
No, it's like
No, they are a team of cheering for
Do they get
themselves.
hired out to cheer for like kids teams? Like if I wanted to hire them for one
Competition only.
What are we talking, 1099s?
Yeah, we're talking independent
No, I think
contractors.
they're
I think
W2.
they're a part of a team. They're professional.
Yeah, they're legit.
Anyways, that's who allegedly Bill Belichick is dating. So I would assume that he is pumped up. I assume there is a lot of pep.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, he's a professional cheerleader.
Yeah, he's got a good pump going. Yeah.
Learning a lot.
But joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who I assume has good pump going on as well. Yeah. It was the second time winning the title, but nonetheless, he is the reigning, defending, undisputed, shout out to Paul Heyman, U.S. Open champion, representing the Crushers from Live Golf, Bryson DeChambeau.
Hell yeah.
How are you, man? How you guys doing? Hey, great. How was the night? I saw you stick around afterwards and meet and greet everybody and go to the stand and take that thing around to all the people. I don't think I've ever seen a golfer do that. Why'd you do that, and how'd the night continue to go, brother? Congratulations.
Well, thanks. Thanks for having me on, guys. It's been a whirlwind. I'm a little wrecked, I can tell you that, but it was a lot of fun last night, and the fans were all a part of that win throughout the whole week. They were cheering me on. They were pushing me. They were encouraging me, giving me all the stuff I needed to win. And so I thought, what better moment for me to just go out there and show the fans all the respect that they deserve for pushing me to win this title.
It's beautiful. We all loved watching along, and we all enjoyed like your babyface turn. Babyface is good guy in wrestling. And I don't know if you hear what the conversation is around you right now, but a lot of people are like, wait a minute, I actually love.
Yeah.
Do I love Bryson DeChambeau? I love Bryson DeChambeau. Obviously, with your YouTube, with your style of play, with the way you're handling yourself on the course, you like got jacked up before a putt when everybody else is locked in. You're telling the fans, no, I'm not going for the green. Get off my ass. I'm not going for the green. I'm doing this. Like, do you feel that? Do you think it's you maturing? Do you think it's people learning more about you? What do you think it is? And like, how does it feel to have everybody on earth loving you at this moment, legitimately?
It's an honor. I'm thankful. I'm gracious. I can tell you that YouTube has definitely opened up a lot of doors for me. It's allowed me to express my full self and just get a little bit older too, my man. I'm not too old. I'm 30, but what I can tell you is I've learned a lot from the lows that I've had and the people that have been around me. They've pushed me in the right direction, realized how much golf has given me. And so it's time to give back. It's time to give back to this great game and what it does for people and humans. I couldn't be more thrilled to have this be a part of the United States win. It's everyone here. It's everyone that's pushed me to make this happen.
Hell yeah, and we can feel it. Like, you being a face of golf was very evident, and like representing the sport is very pure, especially with your performance yesterday. But through YouTube, through the videos, D-Butt here.
Hell yeah.
I mean, he talked about how kind you were to him and how much you helped him throughout the.
Let's go, baby. Hey, congratulations again, man. Great fucking performance.
Yeah.
Thank you. You inspired me, by the way. You inspired me with those bombs out there after I gave you a little lesson on the tee box.
Confirm, boys. Coach, boys.
We thought he was, since playing with D-Butt, you're 1-for-1 in majors. So we assumed D-Butt was a massive piece of it. But he talked about, he's done a couple of these before with like Phil Mickelson. He talked about how Phil Mickelson, like, didn't seem obligated, but like very much wanted to help Darius in his love of golf. He said the same thing for you, man. It is, everything we're hearing about DeChambeau is wonderful.
Awesome.
It is, and you deserve it, brother. You deserve it all. Okay.
Thank you. It's awesome. No, it was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you.
Okay, so let's go to some highlights from yesterday. You said after the tournament that you could hear with the crowd kind of what was happening with Rory because he's one hole ahead of you. When you tee off at 18, you hear the USA chants and the groans, and do you know what happened with Rory, or did you just know something was up? Where were you?
So I was missing my drive all right yesterday, and I had to make sure I missed it left to give myself a chance to the green no matter what. And I overpulled it just a little bit, and I thought I might get TIO relief from that immovable obstruction and get maybe a good lie or something like that. But unfortunately got under a tree, around roots, could have injured my hand even, and I barely had a sliver of a chance to get on the green. Yeah, I smoked. That was 94 ball speed. Jeez. And then I was trying. Look at this. I had no shot there, and no business going for the green, but I pushed it, and it went out into the bunker, and that was a 55-yard bunker shot, literally the hardest shot in golf. Okay. Yeah, there's roots everywhere.
Hold on.
There.
Hey, Bryson, hold on, though. You say literally hardest shot in golf. It's like we've learned a lot about you since this whole thing, and we will continue on YouTube and ESPN Plus and TikTok. We will see you tomorrow. Have a great night. Goodbye, ESPN. Okay, so the linear television is now over. We are on YouTube, ESPN Plus, and TikTok Live still. There are still people watching. But we saw this video from YouTube. We don't know when the video was, but this is what you actually said.
They'll give me nightmares. It's not over water. It's not a skull. It's not a shank. It's a 65-yard bunker shot.
So you said that on your YouTube, and then in the media book for Live, it says shot that gives you most difficulty, 60-yard bunker shot. Okay, so that is so now you're staring down a 55-yard bunker shot as you walk in there. Have you already faced your fears enough to get this shot to be one of your best in the game since those quotes have come out, or were you thinking about this all the way through the shot out of the sand to 3 feet or something?
Yeah, like 3 feet 11 inches.
Yeah, what's funny about it is I actually played it like a 35-yard bunker shot, so technically it wasn't 65, but still it ran out all the way, it ran out that far, and it was a 55, 60-yard bunker shot. But ultimately, nobody wants to have that shot in the game of golf. It's near impossible, and I hit it perfect, guys. It was the most perfect shot I've hit in my entire career, and it was probably the greatest shot of my entire life.
Hey. Congratulations. Staring down your fear.
Yeah.
The big bad voodoo daddy's right here. All you need to do is go up and down, and you win another major, another U.S. Open. And last question for me before the boys have theirs, including AJ. Like, I'm pissed, DeChambeau, okay? I spent the weekend with you. I enjoyed the hell out of watching you golf. The way you swing, the way you scrambled 5 of 15 on fairways yesterday and still win the entire thing. Like the way you scrambled, the way you handled yourself, the composure, the USA chance, what you represented, big win. It was good to see you back. The putter that was called into question where you're knocking it down, everything. Like I loved the weekend. Then I learned through the thing, you can't be on the Olympic team because you didn't get any points for the world golf rankings because Live doesn't count because it's only 54. You've made it into the top 10 with just majors somehow without all the other tournaments that I assume you do well at. Like, where do you stand on this? Are you incredibly bummed out that you're not able to represent the United States? And I'd like to let you know, I think I speak for everybody in the United States. We wish you were representing the U.S. at the Olympics, brother.
Well, I appreciate those words. I would love to represent the United States. It was tough for me not to go last time around because of COVID, and it's just one of those things that happened. And hopefully one day this game of golf will get figured out and come back together, and I'll be able to play. I'm playing great golf. I'm excited. But ultimately, am I frustrated, disappointed? Sure, you can absolutely say that. But I made the choices that I made, and there's consequences to that, and I respect it. But hopefully sooner rather than later, we figure that out. So this great game of golf, we can get past all that and move forward into showing how awesome this sport actually is around the globe.
I appreciate you taking responsibility and saying I made choices, yada, yada, yada. The Team USA can make choices too. They can say, yep, put that guy. Hit the big, long ball, whack. Yes, they can, DeChambeau. Amen. Go ahead, AJ.
Bryson, what time did you end up leaving Pinehurst last night? It seems like you were there all night. I'm watching Johnson Wagner recreate your shot out of the sand, and you pop up. They give you a mic, and you do a whole thing with him, and he hits a beautiful shot. You give him the trophy. It was an awesome thing. But what made you stay there that long? Was that the plan, or just everything kind of happened?
It just all happened. I mean, the fans were still out there waiting for me. They were shutting down the whole golf course. Shuttles were leaving the golf course. So fans, I think a couple fans might have gotten stuck. I don't know. But I was probably around 12:30 because we had to catch a flight. It was at 12 o'clock. We had to catch a flight around 12:30. And then back at where I was staying, the whole neighborhood came around and just gathered in support. And I signed more back there. There's police officers around. It was a lot of fun. But it was around 12:30 we left. We had some stuff out of here.
Hell yeah. Did you get that sand out of there? You never want to drink sand, obviously. You don't.
No, we cleaned that out. We got that safe and secured. So did that and then flew over to the Big Apple here today, doing a little, perfect, exactly, with Todd. Doing a little media tour, and then now headed off to Nashville tomorrow.
Okay, so what was the drink of choice out of the what's the name of the thing? What's the name of the thing?
Claire Jug is the other.
No, that's the British Open. That's the.
Well, you need to go win that too. You need to go win that too. You're at plus 1,000 or something.
The United States Open Championship.
What did we drink out of there last night? What are we doing? We doing beers? We doing mixed drinks?
I actually did wine. Big wine guy.
Oh, wow. Hey, super classy.
It was nice. It was beautiful. Everybody drank out of it. I handed it around the office. It was a lot of fun. Everybody that was there, we celebrated accordingly, and we had some champagne out of here too. We shot it around the room. It was fun.
Did you do the wipe off after you drank the wine out of the
communion? The Pope, the communion
does well, the Pope.
Well,
I'm not that classy, so.
Okay, just swallow it back. Let's get back to the on-course action. Go ahead, Tone.
Yeah, Bryson, one of my favorite moments from yesterday was, I think it was on 13, Rory had just made birdie to take a 2-shot lead, and then you just were like, all right, I'm going to drive the green and give me an eagle up. Were you always going to pull out driver there, or was it a circumstance after we went down two?
It was actually my
fairway wood, I think, as he
it was fairway wood
right there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we lost him. He's gone forever.
Oh no.
Yeah, they said he had to club down to drive the green.
And how high he tees it, because he on a par 4, 316 yards. For how high he tees it, because he is one of those long drive guys. He worked with the long drive guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that fairway wood. There was a good amount. He could have went right under that ball.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Just
one of us
peered it though.
would have absolutely. Yeah, instead he rolls it right up there. Bryson, I believe you were telling us that was a fairway wood 316, hole 13, par 4 that you drove the green on as you're losing the lead. Can you hear us still?
Sorry, boys.
It's all right. You back?
I'm back. I'm right here, ready to go.
Okay, fairway wood almost overdrove the green in a PGA major, in an event, in a U.S. Open. Use fairway wood, drive the green. When you hit this, you think you hit a hole in one?
It was going right at the flag. I definitely had a chance. And when I heard the crowd roar, I knew it was going to be somewhat close and on the green. But I had to do it. Rory went up 2, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to get it back somehow. This is a problem, because Rory's one of the best to play sport ever, and he's not usually going to give it up that easily. And fortunately, after I pumped it up there and played the way I did, got up and down the next hole, 3-putted the next hole, missed like a 4-footer, 3.5-footer. I was like, oh my gosh. But he missed a couple coming in, and I just stayed the course and was steady Eddie in the last 3 holes.
Okay, so obviously you missed a couple putts. He missed a couple putts, which is going to be the conversation. I heard you basically sing the praises of Rory and basically saying that sucks, that's how that went. But for me, it's great news. If you're Rory, and for you with that 3, how do you get that out of there? Because I'm a terrible golfer. So I'd be thinking about what happened on 16. probably for the rest of my life if I'm more. And then on 18 for it to happen again, well, that's just because it happened on 16. This is my new normal. How do you golfers get on that? Is it work? Do you do something else? What do you think for him?
Everybody has their own coping mechanisms, and mine, for example, I just try to be like Dory. I just forget. I just literally whatever happened immediately passed. Just you completely forget. I know it's so cliche and kind of funny to say, but for me, I literally just don't even try to think about it and just go forward, move forward. Whatever happened. When I lost the PGA, I was on to the next. It's like, oh, okay, got to go win the next one. That was kind of my thought process going into it. And that's the way I hope Rory is. And look, he's a great golfer. I'd love to have more battles with him. Love to duke it out. Excited for the British Open next month.
Yeah, we need to get that sorted and figured out because we'd like to see you battle with him as well. Ty has a question for you, DeChambeau.
Bryson, you talked about how like your game and kind of you as a person have grown and evolved, but how difficult is it when you're playing at a place like Pinehurst when you have to be so precise with the greens and everything and you can't really, afford to hit a bad shot for a guy like you who can hit the absolute shit out of the ball? Like, how difficult is it being like, oh, I need to play smart and I need to play safe here, as opposed to just, like the clip we just saw where it's like, hey, I have this in my bag. I can drive the green here. I can be longer than anyone else if I have to.
So funny enough, I was trying to say boring golf all week. That was my goal. And consequently, at the end of the tournament, I didn't. It was driver quite a bit everywhere. And my iron play was unbelievable that week, though. That was the whole key. If I iron played it well and putted well, I'd have a good chance because I knew I could get out of the native area. If I didn't hit the driver perfect, I'd still be able to get out of the native area relatively okay. And my wedge game, putting, and iron play had to be perfect. Even though my driving wasn't, that's certainly what I was focused on. And shoot, boring golf. It wasn't fully boring golf, but hopefully I showed the fans a little excitement.
Yeah. Nobody. I mean, you had to tell the crowd to relax when you weren't going for the green one time because everybody wants to see big golf ball whacker guy. I mean, that is certainly what.
Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, bingo. Okay, you understand that though. Like, hey, I can do something that not a lot of humans can do. They deserve to watch it. They're hot as shit out here at Pinehurst, and let's give them the show. When you're missing fairways, though, and you're ending up in this native grounds that can be incredibly dangerous to your game, even though they just talked about how lucky you got every time. This guy's so lucky. This guy. So, like, that's all they kept saying on the broadcast or whatever.
I never had a good lie in the native area. I'm telling you. There was multiple times where it looked like a good lie, but when I set the club down, there was roots, there was little branches and things like that. It was very difficult to hit out of there. And then times when I did have to have somewhat of a clean lie, I was standing on the bushes and the little things. Yeah, so it wasn't – I don't even remember one time where I got a perfect lie with a perfect stance out of there. May have been once, maybe twice, but it was not more than that.
Well, good fighting through there. What they were telling us is you were in an incredible spot. I mean, you were stepping on the shit, the grass, what was the type of grass?
Fescue grass thing, sort of thing. On 12, I literally had to pitch out sideways. So, I mean, it wasn't that lucky.
No, yeah, super lucky. Super lucky. But as you're teeing up and you have the weight of the world of being big golf ball whacker guy, but we see you take your fairway wood and just put that thing literally on top of the hole for a 330-yard drive or whatever. Yeah. How hard is that conversation to have? And why did you think you were spraying it so much yesterday? Have you dissected and figured that whole thing out yet?
Yeah, so I switched heads right before the round, trying to put a fresh head in there to make sure it didn't spin as much, curve as much, because when I hit the ball, I flatten faces. So, it starts to curve a lot more because of that. And so I put a fresh head in there and ultimately just didn't work it in, I guess you could say. And so it was just missing a little bit right, and it wasn't turning over the way it normally does with a head that's worked in. But the 3-wood, it was an easy decision because it was 320 yards, and my driver goes 330. So I wanted to just smoke something up there right next to the pin instead of fly the green.
Yeah, but if you do this on every hole, you're probably 12 under. Like that is
right.
So that has to be a tough. Legitimately, that has to be a tough conversation as you see like the first. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll tell you, my driver's usually my strong suit, so I don't know what really happened on Sunday, but I'm going to go work that out.
No, you earned it. Yeah. You earned it. You earned it. The big meathead will be able to figure it out. We can't wait to watch it. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Bryson, one of the things right away with the tournament was how the greens were. When you hear that, is that something that makes you think like, oh, I'm in a great spot then because of the way you drive the ball and how close you can get?
Yeah, absolutely. If I've just got wedges in all day, hit 15, 20 feet and hopefully sink a few of those and give myself a great chance. A lot of guys were having long irons in and, they weren't making as many putts. So I tried to give myself as many opportunities, albeit I didn't the last day. I made a lot. And when you win tournaments like this one, you got to make a lot of putts no matter what, no matter the situation.
Hey, that was sweet. That was really sweet. That was a cool thing there, Hey, what was the deal with these clubs? What you got 3D printer made club. What happened with your clubs? Can I buy these or no?
No, they're a one of one.
Let's see.
There we go.
What's
there
different?
we go.
Yeah, what is different?
So it's this club right here. This is an 8-iron. Pitching wedge. Excuse me, pitching wedge. And so what's different is that you can actually. I got a chandelier above me. Give me a sec.
Yeah, it's all right. You're the champ.
You can actually see the curvature on the face. It's a little bit easier maybe this way. That's subtle. Let me get you a bigger one. So the pitching wedge is the least amount of curve. Let me get you a better one.
Yes, please do. Please do. We would like to understand what the hell's going on with your clubs because it was a big topic of discussion, obviously.
What do normal clubs have?
So they're flat faced. Okay. They're completely flat. So there we go. You can see it's subtle, but the heel and toe is not flat. It's curved just a little bit here and here. So it's arcing like this, where the toe is pointed right and the heel is pointed left, and the center of the foot is pointed straight. So if you look at like a 3-wood, this is a 5-wood, you can see the amount of curvature on a.
Oh yeah.
So you see the heel is pointed left, the toe is pointed to the right, and so it's a modified version of that where I realized I swing it super fast. So consequently, when I go to the irons, I have to have a little bit of curvature at the lower lofted clubs. Higher lofted clubs, it doesn't matter. It's fine.
Okay, so
that's what allows me when I hit it on the toe. When I hit it on the toe, it starts farther right. So most clubs, when they're flat, I hit it on the toe, it'll start straight, and it'll overdraw. Hit it on the heel, it'll miss to the right. That's just what happens with the speed. It side spins and curves like that. So we offset that by having the geometry point right and left. So a little bit more on the toe, pointed to the right, a little bit more on the heel to the left. So it starts farther offline so that when it curves back, it curves towards the middle and ends up in the middle instead of over curving and crossing the midline.
Seems like that makes too much sense. Doesn't it? I mean, it feels. Are you the only person to ever do this? Is that why you had to make these specific? And is this what everybody's going to do now who swings hard?
I think a lot of people are going to start realizing how beneficial it is at higher swing speeds.
So when you make your own clubs? Are you going to have the D-Sham bombs or whatever? Are these going to be your own clubs? Or are you going to get into?
That's a great name. I need to patent that. I need to trademark that or something.
Okay, hey, sounds like a plan. Yeah, you do whatever you got to do, bro. We'll dump that so nobody else takes the idea.
To be honest, I'm secretly working on something behind the scenes. Ooh. You guys will see it here in the next month or so.
Yeah, that would make sense. Right. If you created clubs that change golf and make people better at golf, people are going to want those clubs.
For sure.
I mean, that's what golf is. I'm already going to buy
25 handicapper. Every 25 handicapper will buy them and think it's going to make them good.
Bingo, I'm the guy. I'm literally on the screen right now. I swing hard shit, yeah.
It actually will.
Okay. Listen, don't put me on the Golf Channel 3 a.m. I'm buying every fucking pool noodle, trying to figure that whole thing out. D-Butt's got a question for you.
Hey, Bryce, at this point, I feel like you've kind of earned the moniker like the people's champ right now. And obviously, we talked about, all the content you're putting out on YouTube or kind of growing the game. Why is that kind of important to you to grow the game, I guess, to more people?
Man, this great game has given me so much. Starting out in my young life, I learned some great character traits of integrity, honor, and perseverance, dedication. And I think it's such a great sport to be able to showcase that to the world. It's super important for people to see how people interact with each other, the relationship building capabilities that golf has, and the connectivity that golf brings to this world. And that's what inspires me to continue to try and grow the game, because I believe wholeheartedly that we can bring the world together through the game of golf. And so that's just my passion. I certainly enjoy seeing a kid's heart just light up when I throw them a golf ball or give them a high five, and it just makes the world of difference. It makes me believe in humanity, makes me believe in the world and where we're going if we can get this great game to the forefront of sport. That's wholeheartedly what I believe in. So YouTube is a great platform to be able to showcase not only myself, but what golf is to the world. And hopefully growing on that platform will gain more followers for the game of golf.
It's a wonderful game, and yesterday was a fantastic Sunday. And you gave us moments where, celebrating Father's Day, we think to ourselves, oh, this guy's dead. And then all of a sudden you pull something out of your ass with this brand new club that you created yourself and win another U.S. Open. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and we'll watch you tonight on Fallon, brother.
Thanks, guys. Love y'all. Take care.
Hey, we love you too, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah, Bryson.
Drinking wine out here.
Yeah, I like that.
Good move.
You think they were taking a little Christ checks too? I bet you somebody made the joke at least one time.
I hope so.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Did you see at the end when he and, was it Pavone, with the guy he played with?
Yeah.
I don't know, Yep. They were standing there, and Bryson goes in. They're like finishing their scorecards. He opens the cooler, and he hands him a water, and he grabbed himself a water, and he poured some kind of like probably nutrient thing into his water or electrolytes. And the old buddy, Pavone, takes the water. He's like, oh, thank you. And then Bryson leaves, and the guy just stays there, opens the cooler, and grabs a can of Coke, and goes and sits down with the Coke. And then he wanted nothing to do with the water, but Bryson handed it to him first.
Pavone, there was a couple moments. Bryson was past the green, had to chip back. He was on like a decline. He hit it to 5 or 6 feet or whatever, and Pavone literally gives him like a thumbs, as if you're like playing with your friends, because he couldn't see because he was low or whatever. He was like, "Yeah, hey, you're gonna like that one.
You did it.
Yeah, you're gonna like that one." And then at the end, when DeChambeau chooses to putt before Pavone or whatever, and the crowd was like, "Come on, give him his moment" or whatever, and DeChambeau was like, "No, let's
all right.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do this." It was like he had to handle that whole shit too. You know what I mean? I would assume there's some golfers that would not have handled the way DeChambeau and the crowd and everything was the entire day. So shout out to the entire, legitimately phenomenal entertainment yesterday.
Yeah,
and it was fun to watch.
The majors are the best. And to your point about the Pavone on that last hole, like I assume not many times you see like a ball marker as you're looking down at your putt, at least in the last hole of a major. And that they talked about that too. Like, hey, as much as, Pavone could have gone first and given him that read, it's also difficult because of the fact that like there's just there's like a quarter just staring you at the face as you're trying to hit a putt.
And he buries it.
Buried.
His putting style is what I need.
It's not an easy putt. That was not an easy putt there to end it. I know it looks close. No, it's not if you're out there.
Yeah, I saw Rory miss a couple of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First time ever, actually.
Yeah.
I asked him like, hey,
346.
how do you read your putt? What's your process? Probably a 14-minute conversation is who, like afterwards, he just literally walked me through this. So then after he's done, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go down the rabbit hole on that. Oh, you won't be able to find it anywhere. You won't find it on YouTube.
I saw his caddy doing where you walk through the hole and you stand facing the hole and you feel it with your feet and then you back up. That's not how. That's part of it, but
that's
not
definitely
the whole
part of he paces it, he walks it out, and then every foot is like an inch, and then
that's a newer thing.
He's like a straight line. It's always a straight line to a putt above the hole. Like you put it here, and then you put a whole circle around the hole. Wherever you're putting from, you're putting to that spot. Like I sent.
Thump this.
I think Phil does that. I think Phil does that too.
It's way deeper than that. I sent it to Foxy and Gertie because I know they play a lot just to listen in. But I'm sure he probably won't want it completely out there. But it was crazy.
Oh, so you help out Dirty and Foxy's putting?
That's fun.
Nobody else?
Thank you,
okay,
D-Bud.
fuck you.
Yeah, come on.
That's
How
fun.
about that?
You tell me you hate golf. You don't like golfing anymore.
I watch golf. I'd like to know what the hell's going on. It might change my entire fucking game.
All right, I'll send it in.
I have a fucking putting green in my backyard.
I don't
Butts.
fucking
Come
want
on.
it.
Give me a
That's
tip.
unbelievable.
When's the last time you've been on the course? Exactly.
It's hard to get out there.
He's got a boy, Tony. Give him a break.
Jeez. I'm happy to hear that you got, like these advanced golf. We talked about this last week. You're going to be a scratch golfer in like a year.
That's the plan.
Yeah, maybe
How
less.
cool is that going to be?
That's the plan.
Especially if he was reading a golf book outside. Last week.
Just on like how to swing or what was it?
Ben Hogan. He wrote it's a small book, probably 50 pages, but just like 5 fundamental.
That's like the golf book, I think.
Yeah, you remember Doyle Brunson wrote that book about poker? And everybody's like, did you read, I forget the name of the book or whatever. Like, that's how you knew if somebody was like really into golf or into poker. It's like, yeah, I read Texas Dolly's book. Like, I know this
Kidding me?
entire
Of
thing.
course.
He's doing that with the golf shit. Like, I got the golf book.
He just shot a 42 yesterday.
Come on now.
Okay, D-Butt.
It's only a matter of time.
weekend, AJ?
Oh, yeah, I played in an outing. I meant to scramble, so not a real score for me. But, yeah.
How'd you do? Did your team win?
No, someone turned in like a 21 under. There's some golfers.
You don't
We were
say.
17.
Is this
We were
Ohio?
17.
This was in Ohio?
Yeah, it was Youngstown, Ohio. Yeah, my team was legit. We had some players in my
Youngstown.
group, but yeah, man.
I wonder how many fair and square scores have ever been turned in the state of Ohio for scramble.
That's the problem. Like, that's the problem. No matter how bad you cheat, you got to cheat more if you want to win those things, I feel like.
Yeah.
And we didn't even cheat. That's the problem. I played with, like, stand-up adults. You know, I would have gladly fudged the scorecard. Absolutely.
We
Or not
made that
fudged
one.
the
We
scorecard.
deserve
Not
that.
fudged the
No.
scorecard.
I was in.
I would gladly putt until we make it. That's what I'm going to do.
We have 5 mulligans, right? Do we not have 5 mulligans?
Yeah, I tell them all the time, I bought unlimited mulligans, guys. Don't worry. Like, oh, I didn't see where they were selling them. Oh, it was out front. You missed it.
Yeah, registration. It's a celebrity thing. I'm a celebrity.
Yeah. Goes to charity.
Bobby
Bought 'em
Carpenter
all.
only bought 4.
He's cheapskate.
I bought 20. So we're lucky. We're the winners today. All right, let's get the hell out of here. Big night tonight, the NBA.
Huge.
Celtics and Mavs. Monday Night Raw.
Hell
Post
yeah.
clash at the castle.
I know.
Follow up to that.
Whoa. CM Punk, he did it again.
You see what they were calling him?
What's that?
CM something else.
What?
They're calling him CM cunt on the way out.
Oh, in Scotland.
Yes, they
makes
were.
sense.
Yeah.
The Scolts.
They were not happy. Drew McIntyre was grabbed Corey Graves in the face. Commentator. He said, "What do you know?" And Corey goes, what the hell? I don't know anything.
How'd I get here?
I didn't see the guy. You saw the camera angle. Turns out that's not a ref that just counted 2 instead of 3. Drew McIntyre could have won, but there was a ref knocked off.
My God.
Did a replacement ref come in? No. CM Punk came in dressed as a ref. Ha ha! I don't know what that was, but
Must have been a priest. That
I don't know what that.
He flew a long way just to screw over Drew.
Dom Mysterio went to Australia, I think, and screwed somebody over. CM Punk flew all the way to Scotland, screw over Drew McIntyre. I appreciate the spitefulness.
I thought Dom had a good Father's Day.
Well, yeah, Daddy Dom is what Liv keeps calling him. He's a bit of a dirtbag, disgusting, and potentially in some shit with mommy.
Yeah.
He better watch his back. What happens tonight in Corpus Christi, Texas?
Oh, hell yeah.
right on the water.
That's forever.
What part of Texas is that?
Forever. I'm flying to Edmonton tonight.
Down near the Gulf.
This is the Edmonton Oilers.
It's that
Florida
far
Panthers.
down.
Yeah, it's like Houston's here, and I think Corpus Christi's like even
That's
further
like Eddie Guerrero land,
down.
right?
I've no idea, but sound okay.
Stone's throw away from Mexico.
Truly.
So I'm heading to Mexico tonight.
Yeah.
For Monday Night
That's
Raw.
cool.
That is cool. I got my passport too, so that's good news.
Yeah.
Gonna be a good one.
It is going to be a good
It's
one.
gonna be a great one.
Should be fun. Keep me updated on what's going on
Absolutely.
in the Celtics Mavs. And everybody, we'll be back tomorrow. Big show coming tomorrow, AJ. Big one.
The guest
I
we
can't
had.
wait. We know Tuesdays usually.
Mark Messier.
Moose.
Are you going to have an answer for where the hell Aaron Rodgers is or was?
Good question.
If I find out, yeah, I'll have. If I can figure it out.
Why don't you look into that a little?
Yeah.
He just fixed himself there. You see that? If I find out, and then hold on, I already know. If I figure it out.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to lie.
Oh.
Exactly.
But he has to. Anyways, Florio was great. Did you hear that? Roger Goodell's testifying today. Did you know that?
Yeah, I know. I don't think it's going to be as many like fireworks as Florio thinks. I think, as you said, Goodell will handle it very, very well.
I think so, yeah.
Bingo.
I think Goodell will be in complete control of that courtroom, but I could be wrong. Hey, I could be wrong.
He didn't seem nervous walking in from what you showed. He did not seem
Aiden
nervous.
Pocket, how you doing? You're about to go fucking put this guy in a pretzel. Thank you so much.
That's some fun.
Thank you for having us. He walked into the court as they're going through the metal detector. Thank you guys for having us here today. You're
On the
testifying.
stand, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for having us. The hospitality here has been wonderful. Okay, thank you. All right, time for cross-examination. Great. I've been waiting to talk to you.
About time.
Let's go ahead and do this. That's how I think it went. We could be wrong. We'll get updates on that tomorrow. Shout out to Florio. Shout out to Austin Rivers. PK Subban, obviously awesome. And the U.S. Open champ stops by. That's magnificent. What a Monday, boys.
Hell yeah.
All right, be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. We're in this thing together. Let's never forget it, okay? Team on me. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Team. Goodbye.